What's going on, everyone? It's Lena Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Tuesday. We're having a special little review session with my friend John Talks. He's here. There he is. Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
what's
Hi,
up,
how are
everyone?
you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good to see you. It's been a minute since I've streamed. I think I've forgotten how to.
How it goes. It's how it goes. If
Like,
you don't do it in a minute, you don't do it in a
and
while.
they changed StreamYard, so it's like there's like all these new buttons. I'm like, I'm old now. I can't keep up with all these new things.
I know.
But here we are, though. As some of you may know, I had some health issues last week. So I went in for a surgery, which was obviously successful. So I survived. Yay. And this is my first show back. So bear with me here as I get used to everything again because I've forgotten everything. But it's good to be back. And I'm excited to talk about The Sopranos because it's something that I never watched when it was a thing. When everybody else was on the bandwagon, I was off the bandwagon. Everybody was trying to get me to get on the bandwagon, and I was like, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to watch this. It's like a whole thing. It's too long. Like at the time, I was young and alive, and I had to go out and experience life, and you know how you are when you're young. Um,
Yeah, you're
and I was like,
stupid. When you're young, you're stupid. You're an idiot. No,
youth is
not
wasted on the young.
yeah, not everybody, but I had to learn the hard way about a lot of things, unfortunately.
Oh
But
my God.
yeah,
Yeah. But it's good to see you, John. And I know that
likewise.
you also missed The Sopranos. Was it by
I did.
choice or is it
I
like,
didn't have cable TV growing up. I was one of
oh,
those, yeah, kids that just, we just had the basic channels. And so we didn't have HBO, and people would talk about the show. I heard about it a little bit when it came out in high school. Like it was my what it was last year high school or something.
mhm.
Or I wound up hearing about the show. In fact, we did a skit. We acted out a mafia skit that was kind of inspired by the show.
Okay.
Yeah, but
But you'd never seen it.
no, wound up yeah, like the characters, it was like we were like two Italian guys. There was another Italian guy in my class, and our grandma got killed in her, like in a plate full of spaghetti.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was kind of like a revenge story. But
Mm.
anyhow, yeah, that's when it first came out, and I didn't know anything about it.
Was your grandmother in the skit kind of like Tony's mom? Was that
Could have been
I guess,
inspired by. I never seen the show, but
so you wouldn't
yeah,
know, but now
no,
isn't that funny how that goes? Because it could have
yeah,
been, that's
probably
interesting.
was, yeah.
Yeah, my experience is weird because, like, I mean, I guess it wasn't even that I just had no interest because there was at the time too, like I was working at Blockbuster, and so I had access to the show for free. Like I could have watched like all the DVDs and everything. And the weird part was I remember too is like because you know how when you're working at Blockbuster, you always have to put the returns. And so whenever like so The Sopranos was always out. So I was always doing the returns. I knew it was a popular show because it was always rented out. And there was a part of me that was tempted, but a part of me was like, I don't know. We'll see what happens because I heard the show's ending soon. So let's see what happens. If it's good, then maybe I'll give it a try. And then it ended, and everyone was mad.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of happy people about it.
No, I
From what I
mean, like the
remember.
conversation was not good. So I was like, well, I
Yeah.
don't want to watch this then. Like, it was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm out.
But with that said, I think time has been really friendly to The Sopranos. I think it's aged very like a fine wine. And I can do all the Italian stereotypes because I'm Italian. So
Yay. Thank God.
yeah, yeah. So you can call it whatever you want.
I was
I
gonna
don't
do
care.
the Italian stereotypes anyway. And
Go for
like
it.
it just helps that you're Italian now. So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get in
Now you
trouble.
have
I'm
some
not gonna get
permission.
canceled.
Yeah,
Thank God.
who gets canceled over Italian? When's the last time you ever heard that?
I don't
I
think
don't.
I've ever heard that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's ever been a thing.
No,
Uh,
I don't think I've ever heard anything about it.
Gonna be doing a lot of although that's like Mussolini, but I don't know, somehow
He's Italian.
It is Italian.
Yeah.
You know what else is Italian? I realized from by watching the show is Paulie's like this, like this this thing. I don't know
Yeah.
what this thing is, but
Yeah.
what'd you just say? What'd you just say? It was it was a thing. Man, the characters were something. And I gotta tell you, when I first watched the first episode, some I had heard from some people that it's gonna take a minute to get used to. And that you always hear these things about series like this. Like I hear about this about TNG all the time, like the Star Trek: The Next Generation. Like it's gonna take you a minute to get used to if you watch, if you watch season 1 of The Next Generation. And I actually hard disagree because I think The Next Generation has a great first season, but that's just I'm a rare person in that. Um, but when I watched the first episode of The Sopranos, I was hooked immediately, and I can tell you exactly when. And it was the moment Paulie walked into the the coffee shop and they were talking about Italian cultural appropriation and how he was like, when they come in here and they take our pizza, they take our this, they take our this, now they take our cappuccinos. Like, what is this? And he's like all fucking mad that they're in this Italian cappuccino or place and it's not ran by Italians. And he was like fucking pissed. And he's like, this is our fucking shit. And I was like, I'm sold. Like this guy.
That was it. That was it.
That
That's
was
all
it.
it
That
took.
was the moment. I was
Wow.
like, I'm in it for the ride because of
Okay.
Paulie and his rant about cappuccinos and cultural appropriation of Italians, which I think has some merit if you really think about it.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Because I mean, everything is awful now. Like, look at Starbucks, right? Like they took, Italian artisanship of coffee making and turned it like mainstream and turned it like, terrible, basically.
Well, I mean, it's on the one hand, you could say, yeah, like sure, probably authentic, real, the real deal is better. It's always better, but
Mhm.
people still drink Starbucks, just like people eat
Of
Taco
course.
Bell, and it's nowhere near
Ugh.
close to authentic, real good Mexican food. Like
Mhm.
Taco Bell it's gotten so far away from actual food itself. I feel like Taco Bell is not even food
It's
anymore.
like
Like
not
at one
even
time,
real.
yeah, one time it was kind of a resemblance to something that was like Mexican food, but now it feels so far removed from even just like it's a caricature of itself. Like
Yeah.
the last time I ate Taco Bell, I'm just like, give me something that's real ingredients here, real food. So I mean, Taco Bell, in my opinion, is a much bigger criminal of wrongly appropriating Mexican culture
That's
compared to
true.
Starbucks. I mean,
That's
Starbucks
a
at least tastes good.
That's actually true, and also, so like, I am guilty of drinking Starbucks once in a blue moon, especially when I'm somewhere where I'm like, I just want a home away from home, because
Yeah.
Starbucks is like, just always tastes the same, you can't really go wrong. But we're not here to talk about
No,
Starbucks.
we're
We're
not.
here to talk about The Sopranos, which I guess let's start by I'm gonna ask you as a whole, what did you think of the series as a whole? Like, do you think
Hmm.
that it is one of the best TV series of all time? I mean, obviously consider all the stuff you've seen, maybe some stuff you still haven't seen,
Yeah. I
but please go ahead. Let me know what you
sorry.
think all time.
I recently rewatched Mad Men, and that was kind of a reminder of
Okay.
like, dang, okay, yeah, this is up there. But Sopranos it's top 5 easy. I mean, it's not
Mhm.
even that's not a debate. Where it lands, um, I think one way to judge a series is there how many bad episodes were there, and also like
Mm.
how many good to great episodes were there.
Mm.
And then too, it's sometimes like with The Sopranos, I don't think there's a single bad episode. I don't think there's one episode where I went, man, that yeah, the show kind of fell off. Like I feel
Mm.
like even up to the very last one, the show, it's just it's got to be one or two. I mean, it's got to be up there. It maybe three for me, but that's probably about
Mm.
as low as it would go. I mean, it's like every single episode is it's good. I don't know if every episode I would say like is gr- great, but there was never ever a bad episode. I never came away like,
I never thought there was a bad episode, but then there was a couple of arcs that I was like, okay, can we wrap this up? Like there was a one arc with the whole Christopher getting into the habit, let's just say. And I was like, oh, this is dragging on. Like either have him like OD or something. I don't know. But I was just
yeah,
like, I couldn't really. I don't know. There was just something about it that I was like, this is dragging on too long. But then I realized there was a reason it was dragging on for so long. It was because it was part of a very deep part of Christopher's character. So even though I don't like that arc, it also is his arc. So I can't really argue like against it. Like I can't be like, now that I've seen the whole thing and I know what that arc meant to the entire premise of Christopher's character, I had to step back and be like, okay, it was necessary for it to drag on as long as it did because they really wanted to hammer home his battle with it, like his
yeah.
strength, like his battle with it and his constant, like just falling off the wagon, getting on the wagon, falling off the wagon, getting on the wagon, which is actually very realistic if
Oh
you really
yeah,
think about it.
yeah,
It's extremely realistic
yeah,
when it comes to like addiction and especially to something as heavy as morphine, or what was it? More heroin. I'm sorry. It
yeah.
was he was addicted to. So it was a very it was disheartening, but it was necessary. The other part of it was that the arc of the gay dude, I felt like it went on for way too long in the final season. I mean, I really thought they could have kind of dealt with that in like a few
A little bit
episodes.
swifter. Yeah,
Yeah, like it was just like, okay, like he ran away, and then it's like, okay, let's try and find him, and then he comes back, and then they did this whole thing with him being gay with that other guy, and then he like beat him up, and that guy was like, oh yeah, like I'm still into you, and I was just like, the fuck is going on with this dude? Like, do we really need to see all this like his side life like after he
yeah.
left the family? Like I was like, it
I
just
don't
went on.
know. Yeah, it feels like one of those things. I mean, of course, the whole idea of a mafia boss talking to a therapist is that's probably not really gonna happen in real
Mhm,
life. And the same thing for that scenario. It's like, but I didn't mind it.
mhm.
But I agree with you. I think it did kind of overstay its welcome a little bit too much. There was a funny scene. You remember when he tried working a regular job?
Yeah,
That guy?
the gay dude, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That
yeah,
was funny.
I thought that scene was hilarious. What was it? What was his name?
I can pull it up. I should have had that ready actually. Let's see. It was Vito.
Vito. That's it. Okay.
Vito Spatafore. Vito Spatafore. How did you
Yeah.
forget Vito's name? My God, the gay dude. Everyone knows in the chat already. Vito. Yeah.
This
Um,
clip is like, I don't know if you want to watch it.
sure.
Okay. I came across this clip even before I started watching the show. I was just like, man, this is funny.
Let's see it.
It's like The Sopranos, even though it deals with a lot of serious stuff, it knows how to hit those comedic beats at times. So this is Vito. He's trying to go straight, not like in a straight, non-gay way, but he's trying to work a regular job rather than work for the mob.
He's left the family.
Yes, he's in exile.
10:30. Gotta be. Hour and a half. Lunch. Halfway fucking point. Don't look at your watch. Not yet. Save it. Treat yourself.
What the
It's like, I think, have you ever been at a job? I think this is like something that everybody's experienced in their life before.
Yeah.
Into 11. Maybe 5 of. Don't look. Think of those sandwiches Jim made. When you've eaten the last bite, this fucking day is halfway gone. 11:30. Has to be. Look at the angle of the sun.
What is it, 12?
Okay. Look. Now. Fuck me!
It's kind of funnier. Yeah, just
It's funny, but
remembrance of it.
what's interesting is that those are the things where I was like, do we really need to watch this guy work and like think about this thing? Like, that's where I was just like,
Yeah.
it's going on for too long. But it's funny now that you're like, watching it on its own. But at the time, I was just like, what's gonna happen to Tony Soprano? Like, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, it's a much more. That's the A story. You're not really as worried about the B or this, or in that case, probably like the C story.
Yeah. But the other thing too, I guess in season 1, when you kind of start getting introduced to all these characters, right? Obviously, like Tony Soprano's mom was like, that lady was next level.
Yeah.
All of the actors in this show were just top notch. I feel like every single person like really put in 110%. Like I believed everyone. Like everyone's character was who they were.
Yeah.
But one episode really stood out to me in season 1. And I think what it stood out to me the most was that they never really came around to it. Like there was never a resolution or anything. And that was the episode where the therapist got raped. That episode, it's really difficult now, John, for me to get, I wouldn't say triggered, but like for me to be like this, like when I'm watching a show, like for me to go like oh my God, like, like for me to go like that, it takes a lot for me nowadays because I feel like I've been really desensitized. But I was watching that show, that happened to me because I was like, first of all, it's a very graphic grape scene. I didn't expect it. Like it kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And in throughout the entire episode, it's kind of like a moral conundrum for her of whether or not she was going to get Tony Soprano to end her rapist. Like that was the entire kind of thing, right? Like where she was like, I have access to this mob boss. And I know, and she found out that the guy was like employee of the month at like the McDonald's or wherever he worked. He was working at some burger joint. And she was going back and forth about whether or not that she would, get Tony or someone he knew to get revenge for her and basically like end that guy.
Yeah.
Especially because the police wasn't really doing anything. And you kind of, they did a really good job and kind of showing like why women don't come forward. As much as we like to say like, oh, why is it that like no woman like goes and, files all these police reports and stuff and things like that happen because, through the Me Too movement, that kind of really came to surface. And that show kind of exemplified why a lot of women don't go to the police immediately because really they don't believe you. And then you become this kind of like pariah and it's basically your fault and they just question you. And when you're a victim of something like that, you don't want to go through that. So it kind of was very understanding in that sense. But what I didn't expect was that, first of all, that she wouldn't have him kill the guy. Cause I was like, I would have totally done it. I would have been like, Tony, you need to help me.
Yeah.
Like, I know you got ways. This happened to me. I need you to help me. She didn't even tell him. And that episode really kind of like it put in perspective just how deep the show was willing to go in terms of, the right and wrong and morality and the psychology of different characters and why we make the choices that we make.
Right.
I thought that was a very just a single-handed episode that just kind of like shocked me to my very core. And then after that, they moved on. Like you never see the guy again. You never see, her. Like there's never any closure of whether or not that guy got caught, which I believe. I don't think he did. And I think it was just something that she lived with for the rest of her life, and that was just basically part of that. But they never really came around to it. Did that episode leave any impressions on you at all?
I mean, I probably when I watched it, I know when I watched it, I did not see that coming. Like I just, well, I think you saw, what was she in the parking lot when that
Yeah, she
happened?
was like
Yeah.
she was going to the parking lot, and then that
Yeah.
guy started following her, and then he raped her in the stairs.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was definitely shocking. I did not expect that. I thought that Tony didn't Tony kill the guy? Or maybe it's
No.
been so long since I've seen that, definitely seen that episode.
He asked,
Um,
he was like, "Do you want me to do something? Like, I know something was bothering you."
yeah.
He was like, "Do you want me to do something about it?" And she thought about it, and she was like, "No, like
Yeah.
it's fine." But
Um,
that was shocking because I would have been like, "Yes, actually, Tony, please, please do this for me." But then again, it also goes to show because she was well aware that he was a mob boss. I mean, he was Tony Soprano, like the leader of this, the mafia.
yeah.
And she knew that. So I guess maybe a part of her knew that if she did ask him something like that, then she would owe him something for the rest of her life, because
Right.
that's how those people operate. They don't do anything for just, the fun of it.
Well, I think
Or
Tony would have, though. Like, I think Tony was, I think Tony was pretty loyal. Obviously, he was sexually attracted to her.
yeah.
But I think Tony, out of just a level of, this is somebody that's helped him kind of work through his problems, that I don't know if he would have necessarily, asked anything of her, but I don't know. Yeah, that's just I don't, because you see Tony, it's like he does have like this incredibly sensitive side to him,
Mhm.
where, the ducks,
The ducks.
yeah, episode 1, the horse, he winds up,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
like he goes nuts, he loses it. And even when he sees the painting, remember when he sees the painting again that Paulie hung up in his living room, he's like, what the, he recognized,
Yeah.
he saw the horse too, and that,
Hey, to be fair, if I was a mob boss and somebody did that to my horse,
oh
they'd be
yeah,
fucked.
yeah.
Like,
And I mean,
it'd be gone.
but you think about it, it's like
Over.
that killing, that wasn't just anybody, and that just wasn't anything. It was like, but that had infuriated Tony so much, just pushed him right over the edge. So,
Mhm.
so that's why I'd say, like, Tony, like any great character, is complex. He's not just a one dimensional bad guy, or if he was, obviously that'd be boring. But I think it's like he would have had that guy killed, and I don't think he would have asked for anything in return, because he does have like this protectiveness to him about like innocent creatures, innocent people. And
Which is so fascinating, right? Because that was part of I think it was in a later season. I don't know if it was the final season or in season 4, where they were talking a little bit about, like, because she starts talking to her therapist about, therapizing this kind of like sociopath, right? And she
yeah,
needs help. Like, she's like, I don't know what to do because this guy's kind of nuts, right? And when they're talking about him, and she's having this kind of like moral conundrum, and then she starts reading that whole, I think it was like an article or somebody that had done a study that was saying that sociopaths like Tony Soprano actually use therapy to basically manipulate people around them, like or like learning the techniques that they learn in therapy, which is a fascinating thing,
mm,
because I actually do think that happens. But I don't think that was happening with Tony. And I don't think Tony was necessarily a sociopath. I know that's like a really weird thing to say because he killed basically everybody he knew and loved. But I think he was more of a narcissist. Like, I think he was a very, very hardcore cluster B narcissist who also obviously had a narcissistic mother and father. I
yeah,
think maybe his father was more of a sociopath than he was, considering like what he was doing in front of his son
yeah,
and the trauma that he caused, because a part of Tony didn't want to cause that trauma to his own son,
yeah,
like that's why he protected Anthony for so long. Like, he didn't want Anthony to be kind of like following in his footsteps and becoming the next leader of the family, which was fascinating because most of those kind of stories go in that way, you know. And when I started watching the show, I figured that Tony, like that would happen, that Anthony
Like a
would grow up.
Godfather thing,
Yeah,
or like like the Marlon Brando doesn't want Al
kind of,
Pacino.
or
Yeah,
at the very least that Anthony would want to. Like
yeah.
he would be like, I want to, you know, I'm your son. Like I have to be like the next you know, leader. But Anthony was never really into that. And it was just really interesting. And it was really fascinating that you see like so early on that he struggles with the anxiety and like the triggers that Tony had, but also Anthony has very early on. I forget what the episode was where he faints in school the first time, but he was really young. I forget
Yeah.
what happened when that triggered him. But that whole thing was really fascinating, and how they handled like Tony's uh arc of figuring out why he was being triggered. And it turned out, like, you know, his father was like chopping off that guy's finger and he witnessed it. And that's what it was that was triggering him the whole time.
Mm.
Like the way they led to that moment, right? Because that took like, I think, multiple seasons. It took like 2 or 3 seasons
Oh
for
yeah,
them to get
yeah,
to that point.
yeah.
I think that was masterful, the way they had like just weaved the story, because as you said, it's not really that interesting to just, you know, have somebody just talk in a therapy session like through their, you know, like, oh, my boss is talking in a therapy session. But
Yeah.
the way they like weaved that story, it was really great.
Yeah, no, as far as drama goes, it's like the showrunners just did an excellent job at yeah, just so many of those scenes they're compelling. They keep you watching.
Mhm.
They keep you engaged. Even the Sopranos has such the structure of the show is just it's a weird it's difficult to put a finger on, like it doesn't seem to follow I know there's a structure, an underlying structure there in terms of how an episode goes, but it's a lot more difficult to put your finger on, like, just how they end episodes is always, it kind of reminded me of Mad Men 2. Like Mad Men would do this as well, but they'd find these moments, and sometimes you would finally, like, you pick up on, like, oh, I think it's going to end here. Like this seems like
Mhm.
where it will end. But it
Mhm.
just I don't know, the structure of that show was not, it didn't feel as formulaic as a lot of other shows do. Um, but I think that's just great. I just think that's just great writing, is where you're able to get the audience so engaged, get them so, at least for me, because I think about things kind of like a writer just after reading books. And so I'm trying, oh, when's the first act, second act of an episode? When's the last act of an episode? Sopranos, I'm just engaged all the way. I'm not even really thinking about that. I'm not, like, I just get caught up in it. Versus,
Mhm.
yeah, sometimes I'll be able to kind of like see this the spine of the story and see, like, oh, okay, this is beginning, middle, end. It just felt a lot more free flowing in a way.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, just great
Let
TV.
Let me ask you, what was your favorite character? Did you have one?
Um,
Was it Tony? I mean, you can
I
say
mean,
it was if it was Tony.
I think Tony is the most, I think he's the most compelling, for sure. He just sucks all of the the way James Gandolfini just, he has the presence, he's just so freaking believable. But I have to believe he just made everybody around him better too. Like I think,
Absolutely. Yeah.
like, Christopher is, I like his arc of, he wants to get out of the mob. He feels trapped. He wants to become a filmmaker,
Mhm.
kind of like that. But he's his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And but I think, yeah, I think him and his dynamic, him and Christopher, I always, yeah, I always thought they had a good dynamic.
They did. They had a great chemistry. And I think I went back and forth about it too, because obviously I love the character of Tony Soprano. But I think my favorite may have been Christopher, and to some extent, like I said, Paulie, because I feel like Paulie was one of those characters that was just so over the top. And I was like, "Is this guy for real?" Like at the time,
Yeah.
I was like, "Is this dude for real?" I mean, same with Silvio. Like there was just
So yeah, they're just
him-
over. They're so like they feel like they're like Italians on steroids. Like
Yeah,
it's
but like
just
caricatures. Like I'm just like,
yeah,
dude, what is this guy's hair doing right now with
yeah,
Silvio's hair? Like all the time with like the giant like Elvis style
yeah.
cut that he had. Let me bring up a picture of the Silvio guy. Um, just because I mean, it's just there's certain things that were absolutely mind-boggling about the show because it was so like serious. But then you're looking at this guy being like, why am I completely threatened by this guy with this
Yeah.
hair?
Well, Paulie to me was so, he is kind of like a very old school Italian guy,
Mhm.
very set in his ways, very much, I think, unable to see beyond beyond the kind of like the Italian borders and culture of things. He's very much in that mindset. Yeah.
There was that episode where him and Chris got trapped
The Pine Barrens.
outside.
Yeah, that's I think that might have been voted on a lot of people's lists as one of the, if not the best episode of The Sopranos.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Um,
Um,
I was kind of like on the edge of my seat at that episode because I was like, are they gonna die in this episode? Or like is one of them gonna die at least? I mean, I figured for sure, like I think who was it, Paulie, I think? That they were gonna like at least lose toes or something. Cause I mean that guy was walking on the snow for a long
yeah,
time.
yeah,
And it was messed up, but it was such a great episode. It was such a weird thing because like, and halfway through, like a lot of this show kind of contains this where you're like, oh, I really hope they die, but I also hope they live. Like it's like you just don't like you don't know how to feel because you're like, I fucking hate these people. They're so awful, but also
yeah.
I kind of want you to live. Like it's really weird. Um, yeah, I do really love Christopher though. I think a lot of that I really felt for him because from the first episode, you see him like that. I always think about stuff like this, John, when it comes to like TV shows and like who you start the series with. Like, what is the first shot that you see, right? Because those things are really important and
Yeah.
stuff like this. And the first shot you see is of Tony Soprano and Christopher going to like beat up that guy for money. And like, and it's actually mainly Christopher and he shoots the guy in the head. That was the first
Mm.
scene. And I thought that was really fascinating because it kind of starts to show immediately from the first moment. You have these two men, one of them's obviously younger, looks up to this other man, kind of like a father figure, and you kind of go on with that, and then you notice like their dynamic. But their dynamic was like one of the main things that drove the show, and it was part of the reason that I hated Tony Soprano, because of how he treated Christopher. Because I know that like Christopher loved him so much, killed
Mhm.
for him. He
Yeah.
loved him. He loved him so much he would have killed for him, and he did kill for him because he killed his own wife. Like he killed his own girlfriend.
Yeah,
Tony
that
Soprano.
that was messed up. That whole thing was
That
messed
was
up.
insane
Yeah.
because he loved her. Like he really did. As much as like a psychopath or a narcissist can love, Christopher did love that girl.
Yeah, but he turned her.
He turned her over for
So
his
did he?
greater love, which was
Did he? Well,
yeah,
basically,
because he
yeah.
loved Tony. That was his life. Like
Like,
he was
yeah.
like, he's my
Well,
dad.
it was part of it too. Remember when he was about to he was leaving. I don't know if he was picking up something, but then he saw this family at the gas station, I think it was, before he called Tony. And he saw this family and they were like struggling. And it looked like he just never wanted that life. Like
Mm.
he just never wanted to be to work a regular job, struggle, have a like he just never wanted that. And Yeah, that was the kind of thing too that made me feel like very to little or no sympathy for him when he actually got it. When he
Yeah,
actually and
I
plus,
felt a lot.
well, plus for Tony, I see it from Tony's angle. I'm like, you have been nothing but a pain in the you've been nothing but a pain in the ass this whole time.
But whose
Like
fault is that? Whose fault is that? It's Tony's fault. That's why it
Christopher,
was
Christopher,
interesting.
Christopher was like he could never clean up his act. He could never. He was a liability, and Tony just saw that after. Like he just finally said, "It's too much.
Yeah,
Like I'm
but
going
it
to take
was
this opportunity."
but that's what I'm saying though. It was because of Tony. There was a conversation that he had right before the end, like right before Christopher's end, where he said to him, like, he's like, I'm trying to stop, man. Like, and they were at a barbecue, and he tells him, I figured you would understand this because you've been to therapy for so long. And it kind of
Oh my
like
gosh!
Tony was like, oh shit. Like, and because at that point he had been in and out of rehab for a long time, right? And he was telling Tony
Yeah.
what he needed from him in order to be able to stop. He's like, if I have to stop, I can't come to the strip club and watch you guys drink all the time. I can't do the certain things that you want me to do if you want me to like quit being a fucking drug addict or being a junkie. There's certain things that I need you to do to help me not be a junkie. So on one end, you want me to stop being a junkie, and on the other hand, you're giving me the pipe. Right. And that's the part that really pissed me off about Tony, because I was like, that's actually true. That's exactly why Christopher kept going back. Every time he would fall off the wagon, it was because of Tony.
Well,
Every time.
there was other things too where just that Christopher did, like they killed that one waiter, I think. You remember that? Him and Paulie?
Oh yeah.
They got that
I mean, they killed a lot of people.
Yeah, but he had to pick up, I think Christopher had to pick up the bill, and he was pissed off about it. I think he wound up shooting that waiter, if I'm not mistaken, in the parking lot.
I don't recall.
There was just things that Christopher did. I mean, just killing this innocent guy, like absolutely.
He killed that filmmaker.
Yeah,
that filmmaker did.
Yeah,
the script guy.
By the time he got it, it was just like you've had it coming. You've had it coming, and I just saw it from Tony's angle too. It's like, what else was he? How many chances was he going to give Christopher?
Yeah, but that's the thing, John. Like how, like that's what I'm saying. Like how many chances was he going to give him? The only reason that he had to keep giving him chances is because he kept fucking screwing him. Like that's the reason that he kept falling off the wagon, was because of Tony. And like Tony didn't understand. It's like, okay, like the guy can't go to a strip club and drink. That's you just can't. But he would make them, and he's like, no, that's your job, man. You got to do it. You got to do this. You got to do it. You got to do this person. You got to do that person.
That's just part of, like, when you go into that life, you take that oath. It is what it is. Like you don't. I don't know. Like I think Tony was just like, handle this stuff like a man. Like grow up and handle your business. And I don't think he got I don't think Tony ever fully understood the power of addiction, but at the same time, Christopher just could not. That's kind of it's still on him personally to take care of that situation. However, it wasn't like anybody was putting a pipe to his mouth, but he was definitely getting caught up in some other vices and things. But like, yeah, I don't know. I guess by the time he got it, it was just like, I could see.
I hated Tony Soprano for that.
I could see Tony's. I was kind of like,
I was pissed. I was pissed to a point where I couldn't watch the show for like, I think, I don't know, a couple weeks. I had to take a break.
Yeah, I think you're a little bit more. You're a little bit more like you've got that motherly instinct and that more.
I was like, you fucking asshole. After all this shit this guy did for you, you gotta fucking do him in like this.
But Tony did it. Tony did he gave Christopher multiple chances over and he wanted him to take. Ultimately, he wanted him to take the mantle.
Yeah, he did.
Like he was.
Well, at some point he did. He stopped.
He stopped. Yeah, he stopped when it became apparent that
But also Tony fell off, man. Like it was like at around the same time, like Tony's gambling went up like insane. Like he started making like insanely bad decisions himself. Like he was just like off his rocker for a while. Like I was like, what the fuck is happening to Tony Soprano? Because he just like it was weird because he just kind of fell off. Like after he killed, I think it was his cousin. Like I don't know what it was, but like all the stuff started to pile on and he just went. Like his character, I don't know, the mask was just starting to fall off like more and more and more. And he started like, as much as Christopher was into heroin, Tony was also addicted to a lot of things, including gambling, which was, that was insane because he was like, losing how much money? That was weird. And then he was expecting like that everything would just be okay with him behaving that way. It was really weird. And I guess part of the reason he fell off the wagon was also, or fell off in that way, was because he killed Christopher. Like that was his like, oh, like I've killed Christopher, now I gotta like just go insane, like justifying for himself like his vices and all this kind of stuff.
Well, I think it's a coping, like you look at, like I think that's the thing that Christopher's kind of on the one hand, he's not a victim. He made his choices. But on the other hand, like once you get into a place where you're killing people on a regular basis, or you're involved in that sort of lifestyle, it's weird how, there's some people where it's like Paulie, it's just another day. It's just another thing he does. But I think it definitely took a wear and tear on Christopher. You can't just go around killing people. If you,
he was, you could tell, like you could tell that he was like just slowly deteriorating. What did you think of his movie? Like, did you think that he consciously did what he did with Tony, or do you think that was a subconscious thing?
I imagine it was subconscious, but that's just me answering now. I'd have to go back and watch.
I think it was subconscious too. I don't think he did it on purpose. I think he was just.
It would be stupid to probably do it on purpose, right?
Yeah. But it was funny the way Tony picked it up. Like he was like, "Oh shit! Like that's how you see me. Like you see me as this guy." Like he got offended.
Yeah.
At that movie, and he was telling that therapist that he's like, "Made me this fucking guy in this fucking movie."
Yeah.
Like there was a lot to love about Tony.
Yeah.
And that's what was really difficult, because like he would do things I was like, oh, I actually do love Tony Soprano, and then he would do like literally 5 minutes later I'd be like, I fucking hate this dude, when is he gonna die? Here is this is interesting. Here we go. I pulled up some clips of James Gandolfini's interview on 60 Minutes, just so you can also kind of tell, like, and the audience can kind of tell the difference between James Gandolfini and Tony Soprano. So here is why The Sopranos was successful.
So much has been written about The Sopranos. What, in your mind, is The Sopranos about?
The reason The Sopranos is successful is, and I've said this before, is it deals with children, it deals with parents, it deals with family. I mean, I think the older characters in The Sopranos, especially in the beginning, you don't see older characters written like that. Then, I mean, you have to put certain things to escalate it a little bit, and that's the mafia part of it. Mm-hmm. But in a way, that's about family too, loyalty and, big issues like that. And I just think it's so well written. I mean, the writers, I don't think I've ever said this to most of the writers, because I basically like to have a slightly adversarial, is that the word? Mm-hmm. Relationship with them, but I think they're unbelievable. I mean, I sit there and read it and just go, Jesus Christ, it's so goddamn smart.
That's true. I mean, the writing of this show was so well done. I mean, today today you definitely don't see that kind of writing anymore. There was another clip which I just closed from that same interview. Here he is talking about Tony Soprano. I think this is about his anger, Tony Soprano's anger. Hold on, let me see. Why is this not coming out? Okay.
Scott Perry says Tony was human, good and evil, all in one. More evil though.
I
Yeah,
agree.
ADDZ says he thinks of himself as a good guy. Yeah, I think Tony does see, he knows he does some bad things for sure, but he still seems to maintain this position of like, but he's, at the end of the day, he's a pretty good guy. It seems
Yeah.
that way, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, it does. It does. He's just so like, I'm the good guy. Like everybody around me is fucked, but I'm actually the good guy.
yeah, basically every therapy session, which at some point it did become a little redundant, like once you kind of realize the dynamic. But Tony goes to therapy. He complains about how everything is bad in his life, everything is wrong. And it's like, well, the basic simple answer is like, well, Tony, look at what you're doing. You can't do these things and expect there to have a problem-free, no consequence life. Like, it's just, you can't live this sort of lifestyle. And now you're mad because there's essentially consequences all over the place. And, it's just kind of like, it's not that complicated, really, what's going on here. It's like,
it's like you do bad things, and then some bad thing's gonna happen to you because you keep doing bad things. And then it was so funny because he would go there and be like, I can't talk to you about my work, but my cousin, he's doing all these fucked up things, even though I try to help him out, but he's fucking me over. And I'm like, dude, your cousin's fucked. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why did you put him in that position?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that other guy too, the guy that like his sister killed, like his sister's boyfriend, that she like shot in the head. And I was like,
wait, which part?
The boyfriend, what was that guy's name? He's the guy, he's Cypher from
okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
From the Matrix.
Yeah.
And then he started dating Tony Soprano's sister, and then she shoots him in the head. And
well, wasn't it Richie? Because Tony killed Cypher.
No, Tony killed the other guy. Tony killed the cousin. She killed him.
She killed Rich. I think it was Richie.
Wasn't it? Hold on, let me.
Yeah, Tony killed Cypher. He killed Cypher over the horse.
No, she killed him because he was saying some shit like I can't.
No, Tony strangled. Tony strangled. You're thinking of Richie.
Am I thinking of Richie?
Yeah, she shot him in the when he was sitting down at the chair eating. But Vincent says Richie in the kitchen. That's who Janice killed.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was Janice. Yeah. Janice killed Richie in the. But when she shot him, though, I was like, "Holy fuck, this chick!" Like, because that whole family was mental. Like that. Yeah. That's what it was showing. Like they were all capable of it. Even the sister.
Yeah.
And she was like, the mom, the dad. Here's the sister killing this guy. Mind you, like he deserved it.
Oh yeah, he had it coming.
He definitely had it coming. And then she just like calls up Tony, like, Tony, I did something. You gotta come over.
He was looking. He wanted to get rid of Richie anyway, so it worked. It worked out.
Yeah, she did him a favor at that point.
Yeah,
that's true.
Your character is remarkable. I mean, it's even when you're not being violent, there's this violence that seems like it's going to burst out any second. Mm-hmm. To what extent are you responsible for that, and to what extent did David Chase create the character?
A little bit of both. I mean, I have a little bit of a temper, but it's a useless temper. Doesn't accomplish anything generally. It's just a lot of ranting and raving and nothing. But so David probably saw that and put it into the character. I'm not Tony Soprano by any means. It's an exaggeration of everything.
But there are seeds there, which David saw.
I think so. After 4 or 5 years, there are seeds. One reason people, are good at certain characters after a long time is because the writers see stuff and they put it in, and it makes life easier for you. He's not going to have me, I don't know what, sing or something. You know what I mean? There's certain things that are in my nature, and I think he'll write certain things like that. But he also stretches all the characters, and challenges everybody, and everybody steps up.
I think that's really interesting what he just said about, like, they're not going to make me sing or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really kind of where writing is suffering now today. The whole idea of like wanting actors to do like everything, even when they're not trained, or like whatever to do, like all these different things, and you're
You
just
think
like,
you think
it's
that's
just.
the problem, or do you
I
think
think
that
that's part of it. I think it's part of like wanting them to just go beyond what they can do, and not being able to do, like, not taking what Tony just said. Like Tony's like, they know me and then they write stuff based off of me, like, how to get to get me to be the best version of myself. And I
yeah.
don't think they do that anymore. I think they just kind of stick to blueprints, and then they kind of go like to make a safe to make safe decisions. They don't. They just I just don't think a lot of new shows do that, where they try to get the actor to push themselves to their limit. You know,
Well, it
they
sounds
just.
like they're playing. It sounds like a little bit like he was saying, like a little bit of both, where it's like they're playing off of his strengths. They're not, they're not asking him to sing, but also the idea, like, yeah, they're going to stretch the character, they're going to stretch him to his limits. So, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the problem with shows now. I just think,
Well, I mean, like, take for example, it's not a show, but like take for example, like Captain Marvel.
yeah,
Like you had like the second one where like they put Brie Larson and they're like, oh, you're gonna sing now, and I haven't even watched I was just seeing clips, and like they have this thing where she's like singing in this planet and like all this stuff, and I'm like, why are they doing this to her? Like it's like because it feels so unnatural, and you're like, why would you put this in the script for someone like that who's clearly not comfortable with something like this? They're not. I don't know. It feels like they're trying to make actors do certain things to, I guess, earn their paycheck, but it's like not quite working out because they're not as talented. Maybe they're just not as talented as.
I mean, I look at like La La Land, for instance, and I think, Ryan Gosling is not necessarily a really good singer, but
How
are you?
dare you?
I mean, I'm not saying he's bad, but he's just not. The performance it's very natural though. Like his singing like you can tell it's him singing. It's not a voiceover or anything.
No, it's definitely him singing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't say, like, I'm not saying he's bad, but obviously they could have found somebody that was better.
sure. I guess
But
that's true.
but because the songs are written so good, because the performance feels authentic, because the production and everything, cinematography, all that direction, it all comes together. It still works, and so
hmm
I think it's a little bit more less on the actors as much as it is on writers, vision, directors actually having a real vision
Hmm.
for something, like what how not just where things feel like it's assembly made, where
hmm
a director, like, yeah, when you see movies that it's like it feels like anybody directed that, there doesn't feel like there's really like some serious TLC put into it. But I think that's just great. Like great directors, things feel. Uh, I don't know. You just feel like there's a lot more love put into a project
Yeah,
when it comes to the
that
writing, the direction, etc.
that's true.
And
Now
that feeds everything. That feeds a cast.
it
When
does.
it's all, there's a lot of energy going on there. So when there isn't a singular creative vision from a director who is amped up and they feel like they have some ownership over the writing and the work, or the actual movie, right? Everybody's they're just a cog in the wheel, like
hmm hmm
it's not, you don't feel like you're part of something special. You feel like you're part of a corporation film,
Yeah.
paint
Well,
by
you're
numbers
actually the
committee.
cog, yeah.
Yeah.
There was another thing too that I wanted to talk to you about, which was the fact that because we've been talking about how great James Gandolfini was, but we actually haven't talked about the fact that he almost didn't actually get the part of Tony Soprano. Did you know that?
No,
Did
I
you know
didn't.
that?
I might have heard it
Yes.
at some point, but I can't remember.
Yeah, so he actually almost didn't get the part. And he had to go back for a
Interesting.
second audition, apparently, where he nailed it. But there was all the there was a couple other actors that were in line to do the role. But they, I guess, the director just really wanted to see Tony go in again, or Tony, James go in again to do it. And some of the people was Ray Liotta
Okay.
was one of them, which I
Hmm.
think in an alternate universe, having Ray Liotta be Tony Soprano, that's kind of wild.
Yeah. That'd be,
Because he was the
be
Goodfellas
interesting.
guy.
Yeah.
So that was his first choice to play New Jersey mob boss. Casting Liotta was a risk and would have been potentially seen as typecasting, especially since Goodfellas
Definitely.
wife Lorianne Bracco played the role of the
Oh wow.
psychiatrist.
Yeah. Yeah.
The series headed by Liotta and Bracco, although more than appealing to Goodfellas fans, would have made the series too Hollywood and potentially have taken away from the authenticity sought after in Sopranos. Liotta turned down the role because he wanted to focus on his movie career and didn't want to make a 2-year commitment. Considering the show ran for 6 seasons, Liotta would have been locked in much longer. I wonder if they knew that it was going to be 6 seasons from the beginning. That's actually really fascinating because you know how like shows like that go? Like you think you're like, oh, maybe like we're going to do 1 to 3 seasons and then let's see how it goes. And then obviously like they're at their height and they're like, okay, let's do a couple more seasons. I wonder if they knew that that's how long it was going to be from the beginning. He would have been mocked in 2 years. Liotta will star in the Sopranos prequel, The Many Saints of Newark. Did you see this?
No, I did. I heard it wasn't good, so I didn't want to ruin the show.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. I the same thing. I heard it was awful, so I didn't watch it. I was like, this dude, Steven Van Zandt, who played Silvio, also tried out for Tony Soprano. He was a creator, David Chase's first choice because he wanted a non-actor to play the now famous Tony Soprano. Van Zandt, who was the guitarist in the Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band, was invited to audition after Chase happened to see Van Zandt's speech and inducting the Rascals into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Steve gave this speech and he was very, very, very funny and magnetic. Chase told Vanity Fair, I said to my wife, that guy has got to be in the show. Van Zandt's auditioned for the role, but having never acted before, it was he who thought the role should go to a more experienced actor. Chase loved the idea of Van Zandt in Sopranos so much that he wrote him a part previously not in the show, Silvio Dante. And that's how he came to be, which is really interesting because I love this. I thought he was a great actor. You know, it's just so interesting to know that this guy had like like zero acting experience. They throw him into this role. They're like, we wrote a part for you. And then like, obviously he nails it and becomes a cultural icon. Like, it's like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
There's a couple more people. We got Anthony LaPaglia. Is that how you say that? He was supposed to be the Australian American actor, is best known for his Golden Globe winning role in the FBI agent Jack Malone, Without a Trace. Was noted as being interested in the role. Fox apparently wanted LaPaglia as Tony Soprano, but due to his conflicting Broadway production of Arthur Miller's A View from the Bridge, he made the choice to decline the role and was not considered further. So there's that. And then there was this dude, Michael Rispoli, who played he was what was his name in the show? Jackie. Yeah, he played Jackie. So he was also very close to being cast as Tony. Chase liked Rispoli's audition so much that he actually adjusted for the role of Jackie Apparel Sr., who was originally created as a much older character to fit Rispoli's age. Rispoli's role throughout The Sopranos evolved to that of the family man who must navigate the role as the patriarch while maintaining his status in the DeMeo crime family. So that's also interesting because all these different people
Yeah.
could have been Tony Soprano, and I can't see any
Yeah.
one of them except
No. After
except
you
James.
see, yeah, it's weird. Like in an alternative universe, would the Sopranos be anywhere near what it is today if Gandolfini is not cast as Tony Soprano? And
Yeah,
I just don't know,
I
because
don't know.
it's like there's certain actors where it feels like, yeah, they were kind of like born to play that role.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, James Gandolfini, he he is Tony Soprano. I feel like John Hamm is Don Draper. Same with Breaking Bad. Bryan Cranston is oh my gosh, Walter White. It's like
Mhm.
any great show, it feels like the performance of the lead actor is just so on par. Just, it is there. They become that character. It's an ingredient that every great show it has to have, I guess. At least from
Speaking
my.
of Walter White, I guess because you've seen Breaking Bad as well.
Oh yeah, yep.
Where do you rank Breaking Bad versus Sopranos?
Man, they're just so they're different. Man, it's tough to say. I don't know. I mean, I think I might put Sopranos over Breaking Bad. I think I might do that. But also because it was earlier, they kind of like led the whole TV
They
revolution.
paved the way.
Yeah.
They kind of paved the way for that.
Yeah, but I like them.
I
I
agree.
mean, I think they're both great shows. It's really tough.
I
to
agree.
say.
I
What about you?
like Breaking Bad a lot, but I actually think that both The Sopranos and The Wire are better than Breaking Bad. That's a personal opinion.
Sure.
I just think they're just much heavier, much more. I don't know. Just like there's just something about those shows that are so gritty. Like it's just so grounded versus Breaking Bad, which I think is more like dramatic and more like less grounded in a way. It's like a little bit more comedic in some ways. You can't. There's just some things that like you are like, that wouldn't happen. Like you know what I mean? Like in reality, you're like, I don't know if that would
Yeah.
happen. But like, and not that it's not a good show, but it's just different. And I think that it's more grounded. Sopranos and The Wire. Russell Hall is here for $2. Says, welcome back. How are your lady balls? My lady balls are fine. Thank you, Russell. I almost died. It was a whole thing, but I actually didn't see hell like Christopher did. So, I mean, that's a win, right?
Yeah.
You almost die and you don't see hell. So, yay. That's not where I'm going.
I would say Sopranos is more like, it does have these like existential philosophical elements to it at times, for sure, where it's kind of like questioning like, what's the point of all this? What's, like it would hit those like deeper notes that at here and there at times, it touch on religion too as well. Yeah, it just had these moments where it would get existential on you, which I don't necessarily know if Breaking Bad just had great, like you said, it was a lot of great drama, a lot of great setups.
It was actually like, it's interesting how this worded.
Not to say
like,
Sopranos the drama isn't great either, but I think Sopranos just has like it has another element to it that Breaking Bad. Yeah.
It's like levels of I hate saying this word, but I think it's more like Breaking Bad is a little bit more shallow. Like it's just kinda like, it's like it's more fun. But and that's why I think I think that this kind of actually defines Breaking Bad, is that it's more Hollywood. Like I think that's what it is, that it just feels a little bit more Hollywood versus like how, in this they were saying that they wanted it to feel not Hollywood. They wanted to feel really grounded, and they succeeded in that. That's why they didn't want somebody who was like a well-known actor to play Tony Soprano. Whereas in, Bryan Cranston was already pretty well known when he started playing Heisenberg or whatever his name is.
He was, but he played Malcolm in the Middle. I mean, he didn't necessarily have like Breaking Bad put him on the map as like a seriously, people started taking him as a serious actor, even though he was a great actor, I'd say before, but he just didn't. I don't think he had
because
that.
He did comedies more, but it's not like he wasn't known. Like everyone knew he was an actor.
Yeah, but he wasn't. I wouldn't say he wasn't.
Actor.
Yeah, he wasn't particularly well known though. Even though like Malcolm in the Middle, if
he
you
was
said
Seinfeld too.
But if you brought up like Bryan Cranston, he wasn't like people would be like, well, who's that? Like most people now, everybody knows who Bryan Cranston is because of Breaking Bad, in my opinion, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But that he was at least an actor though. I don't know if James Gandolfini had really done a whole lot before Sopranos.
Yeah, I don't think so. But it's just, I don't know. I guess that's what I mean though. Like I feel like it felt more Hollywoody, more mainstream, Breaking Bad. So it says why James was cast as Tony Soprano. Gandolfini was involved invited to audition for his signature role in The Sopranos after casting director Susan Fitzgerald saw a clip of his performance in the 1993 film True Romance. However, his first audition was anything but stellar, and Gandolfini reportedly stormed out of the first audition saying that this is shit, I gotta stop. He would later audition for Chase in his garage, and after tapping into the dark side of Tony, the choice became crystal clear for who was meant to play the part. Gandolfini would secure the role as the mob boss largely due to his acting capability and the large structure, because he was also like a little bit heavy stature. He was a little heavy set.
That's why
he was a Broadway actor.
Okay. Yeah, and he was in True Romance before, so but yeah, he barely had, like he was
not well known either. Like,
no,
yeah,
not by any stretch.
No.
But I think that's the dynamic that Tony Soprano compared to all these other actors brings to, or rather James Gandolfini, is like he actually has some physical presence to him. Like he's just physically intimidating versus if you had some of those other guys, they're just smaller, and
they're not as like demanding the screen, because you're like, oh, because he kind of has like the Kingpin stature, You're like, oh, this dude's at the Kingpin, like he could have played the Kingpin as well. You could be like,
could have,
like he looks good, This was also something interesting that I was like, ooh, so like we said, he was kind of like, not that he was a method actor, but he struggled with his own vices. And I think that's part of the reason that he passed away at such an early age. He died of heart attack. But it said former HBO exec says James Gandolfini dared him to fire the actor from The Sopranos after stage intervention. He recalls the intervention stage Sopranos actor in the documentary Wise Guy David Chase in The Sopranos. This is a really interesting documentary, by the way. I highly suggest if you're interested in The Sopranos. It's a good one. It shows you a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So James Gandolfini breathed life into the role of Tony Soprano, but doing so may have come at a cost for the actor. In the new documentary, Wise Guy David Chase and The Sopranos, which premiered Saturday, September 7th, that would be the year 2024. HBO CEO Chris Albacete recalled how he once staged an intervention for Gandolfini to convince the actor to enter rehab for his struggles with alcohol. We did an intervention with him at my apartment in New York, Albert said. That was to try to get him to go to the facility for rehab. We'd had a lot of friction by that point. The ruse was that I was inviting Jimmy over so that we could talk things through and kind of clear the air. And then he came up and we'd had this rehearsal the day before or whatever. And his sister and everybody was there. And he saw everybody sitting there and he went, fuck this. And he turned to me and went, fire me. And he left.
Wow.
Gandolfini ultimately helped carry the show for 6 seasons from 1999 to 2007, earning 3 Emmys for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series for his portrayal of Tony Soprano. He died on June 19, 2013 at age
so young.
51.
So
That's
young.
heartbreaking, of a heart attack. Although the show's creator David Chase admitted at the time that the actor's death that he wasn't easy times, Chase was quickly to point out that the 3-time Emmy winner was one of the greatest actors of his time. That's so funny. Of any time, of this or any time. Yeah. So there was this other thing that I saw that was really interesting about his story, and that was the fact that apparently he paid the way for some of the cast, because like in a later series, in the later seasons, like some of the cast had to take a pay cut or something like that, and so like there was an issue with payment, and he gave them part of his own salary so that the show can go on. And I thought that was really interesting. I actually have this other video that we can kind of get into in a little bit, and talks about like the secrets of the Sopranos, and maybe we can watch that and kind of go through some of them, which was interesting. But there was also, I guess we should probably talk about, I actually have this pulled up. I think this is the trailer for that documentary that I was telling you about. It's a good one. So here we go.
For years, everybody told me you should write a show about your mother and yourself.
By the way, we didn't actually talk about the opening, because I just saw this and I was like,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, that's right, the opening. What did you think of the opening of that show? It's
one of those openings where Succession was kind of like that. There's certain openings to shows where even though you've seen it, over and over again, it's like I never skipped it. Like it always let the, like I've got the theme song in my head, woke up this morning, bought myself a gun. Yeah, like it's classic. Like it's it's just a perfect. It just all works together. Wonderfully. And I think I forgot who was in the car shot. I remember hearing about it. Somebody in the chat might be able to say, hey, what's up, Psychotic Mongoose?
Hi, thank you for the raid, X-Ray Girl.
I don't know if it was trying to figure out who shot the sequence, but it was all, I think it might have all been shot in one day, and it's shot in Jersey. So it's just a simple sequence.
That whole thing though, man, like not just the sequence of the opening, which I thought was interesting, because I mean, the first episode, that when you watch it and you're like, the hell is this? Because like the first time I watched it, I was like, just this guy driving home. Like,
yeah. Did you wind up liking it though?
Eventually,
wow.
Kind of got like I got into it because I started liking the song a little bit, because you listen to it after a while and you're like, oh, okay, I guess it's good, But I didn't get into it at first. I was like, it's a weird opening, because you're like, he's just driving home. And he's like, and it's like this song about, I woke up this morning, I got myself a gun, and he's talking about, like, I just didn't get it, I guess. I was like, I don't understand the correlation. But then once you start getting into the series and you're like, oh, I kind of get it, because he's like driving through Jersey, and it's showing all these neighborhoods and all these different places of Jersey, where it kind of like, it shows you that he's the king of the hill. Like that's basically what the opening was showing, was that he is the king of Jersey. Like he is the one. And as simple as like this drive home, that's his town. Like that's what the opening was trying to say, I think.
Okay, interesting.
What do you think that the opening was trying to say?
Well, I could place, like some of the lyrics, I think you just kind of add meaning to as the show goes on. Not to say like, all the lyrics have some, deep meaning into the show, but I think it's just the ability to set the tone, to set the vibe for the show.
Mm.
Like it's just for whatever reason, it's like you just watch that intro or the I guess you would just call it an intro, and it's I don't know, there's just something about it. It sets this tone, it sets this vibe. It ends with him pulling into the driveway, his
Mhm.
house.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes and really too, it's just showing Jersey and it's
Yeah.
showing him going all of that. It's I don't know. I think it just kind of establishes the setting, the place, and
But that's why I thought it was interesting that they chose to go with that for like every season. A part of me thought that they were going to change it, like, halfway through, because it was interesting for the first season when you're like, okay, well, it's set in Jersey, so now we know where it's set. So, like, season 2 and forward. But they
yeah,
kept it. Like they kept it from day like the minute one. And from minute one, they decided that they were gonna keep it, and then that they kept it, which I thought was interesting. It was an interesting choice.
Everybody told me you should write a show about your mother and yourself. She was so out there.
Stop telling me how to live.
By the way, thank you, Psychotic Mongoose, for the membership message for 17 months. It says, hi, Nina and John. Hope you good, Nina. Doing better. Doing better, man. I survived. We're going to talk more about my survival story tomorrow for Infinite Talk. So come back tomorrow as well and hang out with me and John. John and I are going to talk again tomorrow. We got so much to talk about. Here we go.
My life. You just shut up.
I thought, who's going to watch that?
You're making me out to be some fucking mama's boy.
Then I realized maybe if he was like a really badass guy.
Oh, that scene was messed up when he like choked this dude.
yeah.
Look
Was
at
that
that
the college?
smile.
That was the college show where he was taking Meadow to college, I think.
I think so. Yeah. Look at that smile on his face as he's like
Yeah.
squeezing the life out of this man.
Yeah.
'Cause these are the parts where I was like, man, this guy's psychotic. Because how could you take such pleasure in like taking a life,
Yeah.
I couldn't quite put my finger on whether he was fully like a sociopath or not.
Yeah, he might be.
Look at that smile.
Really badass guy.
So what happened with you and The Sopranos? It was like HBO said, go for it, man.
Well, nobody else wanted it.
David was a TV veteran, but hadn't really directed.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Wait, why is this not working properly on my screen? I'm trying to go full screen, but then it moves. Okay, we're good.
But I knew it was going to be about money and death.
Could you have a killer as your lead?
Is there a place for that on television?
I would lay it all out for the writers.
David starts filling the whiteboard. This thing gets done, and he goes, this is fucking horrible. Erases the phone. It took us hours.
We said things that nowadays would be frowned upon.
We're writing about bad people, and we got to access those parts of ourselves.
Yeah, you could make that show today. I don't think you could. Do you think HBO could make this show today?
I'm trying to think, what are they making today? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Trying to think if is
Like,
there
I mean,
anything
like there's
to-
Game of Thrones. I mean, like Game of Thrones and like the Rings of, well, I was gonna say Rings of Power, no, but the new one, the new Game of Thrones spinoff,
House of Dragon.
House of Dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like gnarly, but like they're not like Sopranos. Like, because they're based in like a fantasy universe, right? So you can kind of get away with more. But
Yeah.
like,
I mean, the
you know, like-
Penguin was compared to Sopranos a little bit.
yeah, but no, man, because even the Penguin, like, it's like,
I mean, I'm not saying it's comparative. It's only one season. It's not, obviously
No, but-
Sopranos is better.
no, I mean, because the Sopranos talked about like gay people in a weird way because they were also homophobic.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they
You're saying,
had a
could
lot
you deal
of
with race and
stuff
could you
and-
deal with, yeah.
like, do you remember that part where Anthony beats up the black guy and they're like talking about, and he gets affected by it because he's like, I didn't want to beat up the black guy, but then they like gang beat up this black guy, and they were calling him the N-word, and then the black dude was like, I'm not an N-word, and he starts like going off about the N-word.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
there's so
I
much
don't
stuff
think
that
they would
happens in
make
this
that
show.
kind of shit now.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely yeah, everybody's a little bit more sensitive, and yeah, things are a little bit more on the woke
Like,
side.
even when Tony was talking about it in a negative way, like when he would say the F word, it would like there was like parts where like Meadow or like, you know, somebody would like what's her name? The wife, Carmela, like she'd be like, "Oh my God, Tony, just stop being like that. Like just stop being so like homophobic or whatever."
Yeah.
And like he'd be like, I don't fucking give a shit. And he starts like
Yeah.
going off about the F word. And you're like, oh God damn, Tony.
Yeah, I don't know if studios, I don't know how many studios want that smoke or heat, you know, that potential problems from the woke crowd. It was just a different day and age. I mean,
It
back
was a different
then,
time.
yeah, back then it was like, I don't know, like growing up, we use that word all the time. We'd call each other, you know, I mean, it was just different age, man.
It was a
Like,
different time. The other part of it actually was that was interesting was because it happened like 9/11 happened.
okay. I
And
think
I
they
like
took the Twin Towers out of the intro going back. That
oh
was a
did
change.
they?
Yeah, that was a change actually in the opening sequence.
But I thought it was interesting how they like put that in there, like when Tony starts helping the FBI and the FBI is like, oh, we've lost interest in you,
Hmm.
basically, because now they've moved on to terrorism.
Bigger things.
Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting, and he was like trying to help them, like get these terrorists or whatever the terrorists.
Yeah.
And he like gives up a couple of like Christopher's boys and everything like that, and like suddenly starts kind of becoming a narc if you really think about it, because he starts telling, you know, on the feds on these people.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were terrorists at all. They were just, you know, part of Christopher's crew, which was interesting. So that whole thing was also kind of dead on because for the time, because there was a lot of like crazy shit going on, and I thought it was really fascinating how they kind of go into like Anthony's mindset, like Anthony Jr.'s mindset, with like him being against the war and then wanting to maybe go sign up for the military. It was like a whole thing. Like I thought that stuff was fascinating because when you watch it now, because back then we were in it, right?
Yeah.
Like so
Yeah.
like it was really different. But now when you watch it retroactively, it's like, oh my God, like they really nailed that time because that time was wild with the
Yeah.
just thinking terrorists are everywhere and like, you know, like Anthony's like reaction to it, like how he was just like, oh fuck, like what the fuck's happening? Like, you know, that whole thing. I thought it
Yeah,
fascinating.
I feel like Anthony's depression almost like lasted too long for me. That was like one of those other things where it's like, man, this kid is kind of like, it's kind of annoying at some point. But David Chase said that he kind of was using that as his own, I don't know if you'd say is like his own coping mechanism for what was happening at that point, but he was very very unhappy by a lot of things that were going on. A lot of things that you know, probably like the Patriot Act, going into Iraq, searching for WMDs, and you know, not like a lot of things that were happening in that time where definitely felt like a lot of the government Bush had his own agenda, or you know, Cheney and so on and so forth. So it's like he was interjecting a lot of his feelings, I think, through AJ, and it was
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I really felt for AJ. I mean, that scene was really powerful when he actually tried to kill himself. And he went into the pool.
Yeah,
and
with
like
that
Tony jumped in.
cinder block. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was crazy. That was a crazy scene. And
Yeah.
that was nuts. Scott says Tony was doing what criminals do, give up other criminals once they don't like or compete with it in order to try to get cover from the police or the FBI, their crimes because they are useful. That's the thing, Scott. I don't think mob bosses are in the business of giving even like past even enemies up to the feds. They just don't do that. And you can kind of tell like that's part of the reason I think that he killed Christopher was because he knew that if Christopher was gonna go down, like he was gonna talk to the feds. That's one of the things that I think actually would set apart Tony. But when it came to terrorism, it was something different because that was new. It wasn't like in his. There was no rules. There's no unwritten rules and there's no written rules about how do you deal with that kind of fear and terrorism, right? And I think that's why it was fascinating to look at because there are written and unwritten rules for the mob, and they followed them pretty closely in this show. So that's why I think it was fascinating that he started to give people up to the feds. Well, they weren't even the feds at that point. Well, I guess they kind of were, but they were for the terrorism task force or whatever.
Parts of ourselves.
The story comes out of those characters.
The garbage business is changing. Let me pick the energy up. I'm very tired.
Ow! That stuff is sort of my specialty because I was from Queens.
Oh, by the way, like what happened to her is fucked up. Like I'm not even talking about like the character. I'm talking about the person because did you hear how she like signed up for OnlyFans? Like I'm like,
Yeah.
How do you go from like
I think she paid off her house
with OnlyFans?
with the OnlyFans money, yeah.
Like,
Well, I think she might even been a little bit in debt or something too. Which,
yeah, because that's crazy to me, man. Because you can't be part of one of the biggest shows on earth and then like somehow lose all your money and then have to resort to like making porn. Like,
well, I don't know how.
You can't.
I don't know how far it went. I don't like. I don't know if she was making porn versus very, pictures maybe of her in a bikini. I don't know. Like, because not everybody on OnlyFans.
Chat.
Tell me. I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm not aware.
You let us know because I'm sure there's degenerates in the chat like Russell Hall.
OnlyFans isn't just porn, as far as I know. Like some
I know
people.
Russell Hall was around. I know he's a degenerate. He would know.
Russell says I don't think she showed anything. Yeah, I don't know if she went nude. She could have showed like bikini pics or whatever. I mean, if Russell said that, I would take his word for it.
I actually take his word for it. If he says I don't think she showed anything, I believe Russell. Okay.
Queens.
Carmela was something that HBO had discussed, but I went in wanting Dr. Melfi.
Mr. Soprano?
Jim had his own way of becoming Tony.
Unless you're really diligent, you can end up taking your work home. And as an actor, that's not always a great idea.
He'd probably quit the show every other day.
Did you see elements of yourself in Tony?
He probably quit the show every other day. That is insane. Can you imagine, John? Like you're like in the middle of this, like the biggest TV show of all time, and your lead actor is like a fucking drunk. Just like constantly quits on you.
Man, I don't know. It's quite I'm sure the drama behind this. I'll have to watch this.
Yeah, I want to watch this too. This looks like a good documentary. I haven't watched it yet. I just saw the trailer and I was reading that other article that mentioned it. That's how I found it.
The Sopranos really redefine what people are willing and what people want to watch at home.
In that writer's room, we went through divorces and children being born and the stuff of life.
The more I did The Sopranos, I began to realize that the movie never ends. It goes on and on and on and on. It's always mesmerized me.
How are you doing? You okay, David?
Yeah, I'm just talking my hat off. As Tony says, remember when is the lowest form of conversation.
Remember when we used to hang out all the time, John? Remember when?
Yeah, that was those were days of COVID.
Days gone by. This was interesting. I saw this. This is like James Gandolfini doing a recording. It's like a voiceover dialogue for The Sopranos. I think this is one of the only times I actually see him go into Tony mode.
All the stuff like that on his street, it was just sitting there. What do you care? Fucking street punks, snatching purses from old ladies. Christ, the pussy was here to see this shit.
Well, he ain't here.
I got news for you, Joey. There's more than one way to shame your family. Whatever else he was, Pussy was a good father, and he would have hated seeing you like this. He'd be as pissed as me.
I'm sorry, Tony.
Go home. Quit acting like a fucking delinquent, and maybe we can find something for you to do.
No kidding? You do that?
Go out the back way. Now. Leave the fucking purse, you moron. Go!
That's fucking great.
So on point, man. Like you just the voice, everything,
the accent,
nails it. Yeah,
it's so good. And that's why I find it fascinating when like you watch actors that are like they don't talk like that. That's like the real acting to me, right? When like that's not his accent. That's not who he is. Like that's not James Gandolfini. That is an act. Like Tony Soprano is an act that he put on, and what a magnificent job he did.
Yeah.
Russell Hall for 2. The doctor showed Puss even cowgirls get the blues. What? Does this have to do with that chick's OnlyFans? I'm confused. Russell, you're confusing. Okay.
Here's James Gandolfini's final meal before his heart attack. Reportedly consisted of 4 rum shots, 2 pina coladas, 2 beers, 2 orders of fried prawns, and a large serving of foie gras.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
My God, no wonder he had a heart attack.
Yeah, and I think it might even been what I don't know what he had earlier, but that was like, man.
Ooh.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
No, it's a movie, says Russell. The doctor showed Puss and even cowgirls get the blues. Is that like some sort of porn movie? I'm confused about what Russell's talking about. That's insane, John. What? Yeah. That's called a liquid dinner where I come from.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like he probably never quite got that alcohol thing under wraps.
No. Okay, let's talk about the ending of the show, and then we can go. And then we can watch this other video that I have pulled up about the secret.
Okay. Do we want to show? Do you want to show this? One of the classic clips though from the Pine Barrens. I meant to do this while we were talking about it, but this is one of, in my opinion, it's like another scene that's actually pretty freaking hilarious. It might be the funniest scene of the whole show.
Sure, let's see it.
Oh, fine.
Oh, yeah, this episode was so good.
Yeah.
Take it easy. We'll find it. I'm busy. My fucking head is killing me. Hello?
It's a bad connection, so I'm gonna talk fast.
The guy you're looking for is some kind of ex-commando or some shit. He killed 16 Chechen rebels single-handed.
T? T, that you?
Ah, damn it.
I didn't hear what you said, Tone.
So I'm going to talk fast. The guy you're looking for is an ex-commando. He killed 16 Chechen rebels single-handed.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's with the Interior Ministry. Guys, I'm going to great. This guy cannot come back to tell this story. You understand?
I hear you. Tone? Tone, you there?
Fuck! Call me back!
You're not gonna believe this. He killed 16 Czechoslovakians. Guy was in Syria.
His house looked like shit.
Great stuff.
So good.
If you remember,
this is me. I think this is the scene because I just looked up the scene that I liked. That what I was like telling you is like sold me on the show. This is Paulie's rant about coffee. There's so many good scenes about like from Sopranos now.
Decaf cappuccino primo, non-fat magnifico, double espresso, regulare. I'll take you over here, sir.
I think I'll have an espresso. Paulie, you want anything?
They got any just coffee?
Our cafe du jour is New Zealand peaberry.
Right on. Whatever.
It's 420. Pick it up over there. One medium du jour, one single espresso regulare.
Honey, let me
Regular.
ask you. My wife was in the body shop around the corner on Watchung Avenue the other day. The guy in front of her leaves, and she sees he dropped his money clip. But he was already gone, and we'd like to get it back to him. She said he was wearing a uniform like that there. Real black hair, she said, tall, little earring.
I'm sorry, sir, but these stores are everywhere.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Fucking Italian people. How do we miss out on this? What? Fucking
This is
espresso, cappuccino. We invented this shit. And all these other cocksuckers are getting richer.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
And it's not just a money. It's a pride thing. All our food. Pizza, calzone, buffalo mozzarella, olive oil. These fucks had nothing. They ate puzzi before we gave them the gift of our cuisine. But this is the worst. This espresso shit.
Take it easy.
Preach, Paulie. This is amazing. That was such a good fucking line. I was like, I'm fucking sold.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
This is Russell Hall for 5 says it's a regular movie. Dr. Melfi dropped her pants and showed everything. My point is, actresses don't need to have OF to show off the holiest of holies. Wow, Dr. Melfi did nude? Like, that's weird to me. John is like,
Dr. Melfi.
he's like secretly Googling this movie right now.
Is that is he talking
The
about the
psychiatrist.
therapist? Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah. Apparently she showed it all.
Lorraine Bracco or whatever her name is.
Yeah, it's whatever this was. The doctor showed puss in Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. So Cowgirls Get the Blues is actually a real movie where Dr. Melfi is apparently naked. Wow.
So I guess Russell's saying that yeah,
I
comparatively
don't remember her being nude in The Sopranos.
there might have been.
I don't remember seeing tit.
I think the scene is it Tony's fantasy where he winds up you think that it's I think there's a point where you think it's real and then it's of course it's like a dream or something.
I don't remember her being naked. There was a sex scene. Yeah, but they didn't really show anything of her. It was like his imagination. I don't remember. Maybe there was. I don't remember at all. They blocked that out. But yeah, we didn't talk about pussy either. And I mean pussy like the guy that we just watched.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that whole I mean, I thought like obviously they were gonna tuck him out. He was with the feds. He was snitching. That's what happens when you snitch. You go swimming with the fishes. You just get stitches, as they say.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked I liked how it all played out. I liked the there's almost like a surrealistic aspect to the show too at times where like Tony has that dream. He keeps having those dreams about like even one point the fish doesn't a fish talk to him or something?
Yeah.
One of the dreams. Yeah. But yeah, sometimes it will go these places where I don't know, like it's not concerned with like hyper, like it'll go into Tony's dreams here and there. And so even the guilt you could tell like he felt about that whole situation kept replaying.
That kept replaying. And like he talked about that a bunch with Dr. Melfi. But Scott brings up a good thing too.
I
When
remember
Tony
that.
almost whacked Paulie on the boat in Florida, which actually kind of really ties into the end, which is what we're going to talk about next. Because the ending of Sopranos was definitely a divisive ending when it came to it at the time. Now, John said like earlier in the show that it's held up. I personally, when I watched the ending, I remember thinking, that was it. Like, I was just kind of like, the hell? Is this how it's gonna end? Like, I was like, did my thing go out? Like, I was like, I didn't know if my thing stopped playing, and then all of a sudden, because it goes blank, like it just goes black.
Yeah.
And then after like maybe a couple of, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 seconds or something, then they roll in the credits. So for a second, I was like, did my thing glitch? Like, what the fuck is this? What the hell? And I guess the question is, who set him up in the end? Like, who was the person that really set him up? And a lot of people say that it was Paulie. That set him up. I don't know if it was Paulie. Do you think it was Paulie that set him up?
I think Chase had came out and gave like a definitive answer on the ending itself in terms of like the fate of Tony. It seems.
Well, yeah, because everybody said we don't know if he's dead, and he said, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, once David Chase says that, it's like,
yeah,
well, okay. But as far as that goes, I almost wonder if Chase wanted to leave that open. Maybe he didn't. I mean, I'd imagine maybe in his mind he does know, but maybe he did want to leave because there was Paulie and there was that other guy too. Forgot, and he seemed very sus as well. So, yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, Paulie did seem sus though.
Because there was also like that scene where Paulie is sitting outside the thing, what's it called, the deli where they all gather.
Yep.
And like, yeah, and then the cat walks up, and earlier he was talking about how like the cat is always like going after rats, and I was like, that's like it's such a classic way of saying, oh, like he's the rat, because he like that just. It was such an interesting scene because here I have it pulled up actually, because it kind of like it goes to set up, like, how I said earlier where it's really important how a show starts and how a show obviously ends, right? And to have this kind of conversation right before, like just a couple minutes before the ending. I don't take that lightly, right? Like this conversation that they had. And then the last scene, which was him, there he is. He goes back to the suntan, and then the cat walks up, and he's just kind of like looking at him. And that was deliberate. Like that was a deliberate,
very much so.
Yeah, thing to have the cat show up and look at him, and he's sitting there alone now. At the deli where obviously the leaders of all the mob families were sitting at one point or another, right? So like it's really just kind of if you extrapolate, I think enough that you can tell that Paulie's the one that set him up. And I think that Paulie he had just had enough, especially because he had gotten. He did the whole painting, like he took the painting thing.
Yeah.
And I think like he just kind of was
here and there
envious. Like he was envious of Tony for a long time. You could tell it was always building up, and he knew that he came before Tony did, right? Like I think in a way he thought he should have been the mob boss. But then of course they had that whole thing with the uncle, which was also weird. Like I actually didn't get that part. Like of the first series where they had the uncle take over for him for a bit, and then they were
Uncle
like, "Oh, let's just pretend you're the head, like leader." I was like, "Well, I don't understand what's happening here. Like, why are they just pretending that he's the leader? Why can't Tony just be like, yeah, I'm the leader, whatever?"
Well, I think Tony was in a tough situation politically. Like he was playing. I just think he was like playing a longer game, where it was like a delicate situation. And that's why he deferred to him. But
did you feel bad for what happened to Uncle June? Like how he like kind of like lost his mind and shot Tony, and then like
not really
had to be placed in a home and everything like that.
No, I wouldn't say I necessarily feel bad for any of these characters really. Like because
They're bad.
they all got it coming.
Yeah.
It's at one point or another, you kind of know that, like, even for Tony, if anything, like, you feel bad for his family who might have been.
I think I felt bad a little bit for like maybe his daughter, like a little bit, like his kids a little bit.
Well, they could have won. His kids could have won.
Carmela.
His kids, yeah, no, she knew.
She knew what she was
Yeah,
getting into. She knew who he was. And it was weird to me because the show kept trying to make you feel bad for her, but I was like, I don't feel bad for you, Carmela. You know who he is. You know he's a cheater.
I don't know if they did. I don't know if they made you try to feel bad for her.
Well, yeah, they did because they were like, oh, like they broke up because Tony's cheating on her all the time, and like, oh, poor Carmela, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, Carmela knew.
But I mean, as an audience member, it's like you can still, like, I didn't feel like, I don't know. I guess I didn't feel like swayed by that in the sense of like, oh, I guess I should feel bad for her. Yeah, because she was a willing participant in all of it. She, you could see her make the trade-offs in terms of like she loved the lifestyle that Tony gave her. Yeah, the things. And she was able to just look the other way the whole time. So it's kind of hard to have, if anything, it's like the kids more so you think of, and especially too, did they wind up being casualties at that diner? That's kind of something that isn't necessarily.
That's actually a good question because I always wondered because okay, the thing goes black, right? So that when the scene goes black, you're like,
should
okay,
we show the
died.
scene at when we get there?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess we can do it. Just put it on YouTube. Sopranos final scene.
I think maybe we'll do commentary through, just stop it or whatever. I think you should be fine though.
That's okay. If I have to like cut stuff out or whatever, I will. It's fine. There's also the interview with that guy talking about David Chase. I don't know if we're gonna watch the whole 4 minutes. We can just watch like the last.
Caravaggio says these people get together when they're young, they grow into people they don't recognize anymore. That life corrupts you. One Buck says you're not supposed to feel bad for any of the bad guys. That's what made The Sopranos so groundbreaking. It was the first show just about the bad guys.
Yeah, and I guess some of their victims.
Yeah, if anything, you feel bad for the innocent bystanders that really take a hit.
Like, would you say like Adriana does, like, because she was a victim, but she also knew, like, she knew that Tony, like, Christopher was in that life and she was fine with whatever was going on. She was fine with him doing drugs and like whatever else. And she was, she was in for the ride. And then it's like all of a sudden shit gets real, right? And then you're like, oh shit, I felt bad for her, but I was also like,
yeah,
you kind of made your choice.
Yeah, you make your bed, you lie in it. She did seem to put it together a little bit too late in terms of like that she was gonna get killed. It was like she really.
Oh, I felt bad for her. She was like such a blonde. Like I was like, oh girl, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like when Silvio showed up, I was like, oh girl, don't go for that ride. Like don't do it. Just don't go.
Yeah.
But also like Carmela, when she found, like, because she was kind of starting to piece together that Christopher killed what's her name? Adriana.
Yeah.
But like she didn't really figure it out in the end, and I think like that was kind of, I think it may have been a deal breaker if she found out like for real, because she assumed, and Tony was like, no, like that
Tony's
never happened.
And and she believes it.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
part of it is it's just like people deceiving in a sense like themselves. Like she just wasn't willing to go there.
She lied to herself.
Or she didn't want to, at least. She didn't want to believe that it was possible that but it's like deep down, if she found out, well, did she find Adriana's mom talked to her, didn't she?
Yeah, and she said,
Yeah.
I think your fucking nephew killed my kid, my daughter."
Mm.
And then like she told Tony that, and Tony was like, "Nah, like she's crazy. She's a drunk. Like that, nothing happened. Like, come on, like get out of here, you know."
Yeah.
And like Carmela was like, "Oh, okay." And it's just
Yeah.
like, dude, no. I mean, come on. It was
Yeah.
so obvious. Like she disappeared off the face of the earth. It was fucking pretty like clear that she's
Clear.
dead.
She's dead. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just that was a whole thing. I was like, okay.
I
So
guess
this is
here's a quick note on this. David Chase, he saw 2000. I think he recently watched 2001: Space Odyssey, and he had this idea. He wanted to put Tony in the same way that Dave in the final, the final like sequence. Well, yeah, pretty much the final sequence in 2001 where he sees himself getting older. He wanted to do this here. So Tony's looking, and then you'll see Tony in the next shot. He's in the booth. So he stops, he looks, and then Tony's in the booth. So it's a very
like right
interesting. Yeah, it's a very interesting cut. Not yet. Okay, now there he is.
Oh, there.
Yeah, look at that cut. You know, it just goes.
Yeah, that is a weird cut.
Very subtle. You know, like he never. They don't show him walking to the booth. He's
No,
looking.
they don't. He comes in. He looks at the booth, and then the next thing you know,
he's there.
He's there, and he's taking his jacket off and everything.
Yeah. So it's a skip in time, but it's just an interesting. It's very
He's
similar
looking
to
at the music. You kind of get a sense of the surroundings. He's looking at this song. Who will you run to? I think that's interesting to like. See, I hadn't done this before. Like this is all like these are all messages by the director.
Yeah.
Don't stop believing. Journey any way you want it.
Yeah. So he's still looking around.
And then he sees this weird guy walking.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my members only jacket. This I barely wear this jacket, but it is a members only. So there is because of this scene.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So he picks a song.
Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Oh my god! Now this is gonna get me the claims is the music.
But I like that. I like the song selection too of Journey. Don't Stop Believing, because it's kind of a misleading song in a sense too. It's very upbeat.
It's almost like he believes like he's invincible at this point. Don't stop believing. He's like, that's never gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Interesting. He's like looking at, couple, family, this dude, this kid. Do you think the entire family is dead, or do you think it was a direct hit?
Is Tony is he sitting on the we'll see where AJ sits, but I think Tony's sitting at the end there, so it's very possible that AJ could have got popped too. I can't remember where he's sitting though, but we'll find out.
It's just the music. They don't even really say much to each other at the end. He just she just said, "Hey." Oh, here, let me just put on the things. Oh, there's no closed captioning on this.
I don't know.
She had to go to the doctor. Switch birth control.
That face. That's
Yeah.
like that, dude. That's like every dad's face when like your wife's telling you your daughter's gonna go get some birth control, and he's just like, that is not something that a dad wants to hear. He keeps looking up every time somebody comes in.
Yeah.
There's AJ. Okay, so he sits next to Carmela.
Okay.
So his daughter is the one that would be sitting next to him, but I don't even think she makes it inside.
She doesn't make it in. Yeah.
So she survived.
It seems like she would have.
I was so confused about this part. I was like, I don't understand. Is this like trying to say like women can't drive?
I think it's just
can't park.
maybe, but I think it's just like building up the tension of you
whole
felt like something
idea-
was coming, and it's like, yeah, it's just one more thing.
That was one more
There's the members
jab they
only
had to
jacket
give.
right there.
Oh, was it? I didn't see it. Hold on. Going back. Where is
But
it?
there was
I'm telling you, they're going like they're like one more jab at the women because they can't park.
Caravaggio says direct hit, so he believes it was just Tony that got killed, which I
Okay.
think that
Saved her life. That's a statement. There's the creepy guy.
so he goes to the
He's the one
bathroom.
that did it.
Yeah, it seems like he came out of the bathroom, similar to Godfather. Some people are saying that the gun was stashed. You know,
I think the
mean,
gun was there in the bathroom, and he went in there. He got the gun. Came out.
I don't know if it's just a matter of like you want that angle coming out of the bathroom to shoot him, but either way, it's there's that parallel of coming out of the bathroom and taking somebody out. That's in Godfather.
Wait, okay, so she's coming in.
Doorbell. Oh, okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me unmute this part. Yeah, because okay, so she comes in because you never see that guy come out again.
No, but he went into the bathroom, so
And that's it.
that's it.
So as she's coming in.
I think, and you hear the ring of the doorbell too. I think that's like one of the last things you hear.
Oh, wait, that.
Don't stop.
Oof.
Yeah, man.
That's
what
eerie, man.
It's so bold. It's such a bold choice to like, yeah, that's how we're gonna end the show. I mean, it's balls. It's ballsy. Absolutely ballsy. I love it though, because people like you have to talk about it. I don't like the idea that David Chase. I don't like the fact that he came out and said that Tony got killed.
I don't either. I kind of wish he had never said anything.
Yeah, I just rather like no, just leave it to interpretation for the audience because on one hand, sure, they talk about it before. It was foreshadowed. This whole thing, he was talking with Bobby. Like, what do you think happens? How do you think it's like? You know, and you know, so just go to black or whatever, or you don't even hear it. You don't like. It's kind of like, yeah, like a nuclear, for instance, like a nuclear bomb. People don't even feel it because I just read this today. But like, if you're very close to a nuclear bomb, you don't even feel it. It happens so fast. By the time your sensory, anything can sense it. Like you're done, you're toast. So it would be like gone in a millisecond. I imagine, would you even hear the,
No.
the gun, as it's,
I don't think you would.
yeah.
I mean, there's like myths and stuff about like how if you get decapitated, you can see yourself. But I don't think that's true.
Like it would just take, it takes a little time before everything just shuts off.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I don't know. I don't believe in that. I think it's way more like actually like this. Like I think it's just it's when it's done, it's done. Like,
Yeah. I don't.
But I mean, unless you're into spirituality, in which case, like, I mean, I believe also that you see something different once once it's over, because you kind of see yourself from the third person. But that's different. You can't really create that in a TV show.
I suppose they could have the camera could have panned up and you see Tony's dead body or whatever. But yeah, I rather just David Chase.
But this is a physical show. This wasn't a metaphysical show. So it's a very physical, grounded show. So it went into I think it went up into black because it's very literal. It's the whole show has been literal. So
well, you have these scenes where this is where it's kind of a little bit contradictory of like Paulie. There was that one person who said the dead, was talking about the dead spirits or something, and Paulie got called out during that. So they kind of present this idea like there is an afterlife and it does exist in the show.
Yeah.
So that's kind of established earlier. But then the show kind of changes a little bit in terms of this is just kind of like, and I think David Chase even said like he himself, I don't know if he necessarily believes in an afterlife or anything. But really it's like you wouldn't even like things wouldn't go to black either.
I don't think so either.
Because you wouldn't, if you're like if you just simply cease to exist, if everything is just materially, like it's not that you would see black or any, you wouldn't be conscious. You're not, there's nothing. Now of course here in the show, I mean, it's about as close as they can come to. But I like the idea of Chase just left an open ending where it's like it goes to black, and it could be anything. It could be a matter of like, no, this is just where we decided to cut, and you can kind of take your guesses in terms of what happened.
Right. I like that you actually brought that up because I completely forgot about the fact that they kind of did, enter even that into the conversation, like the spirituality aspect of it. And I thought that I actually thought that episode was so interesting with Paulie and the ghosts and stuff, and how like that chick was a real it was like a real psychic or whatever, and was like seeing the dead people that Paulie had like gotten rid of, and they were haunting him. I thought that was fucking insane. Like I was like, that's crazy. Like imagine being a real mob dude and then like going to a fucking person where it's like, oh yeah, like I can tell you've been killing all these people.
Yeah, that was very and even too, they show Tony in certain episodes where they're like hinting at like there's like an afterlife or there's something after. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's very
Sinister looking kid says the cut to black was their way of whacking the audience. That's interesting. I never thought of it like that. This is I just saw this as I was looking for this scene, and I think this is where he kind of confirms that Tony's dead. So here we go.
The scene I had in my mind was not that scene.
Okay.
Nor did I think of cutting to black. I had a scene in which Tony comes back from a meeting in New York in his car. At the beginning of every show, he came from New York into New Jersey. And the last scene was going to be him coming from New Jersey back into New York for a meeting at which he was going to be killed.
And when did the alternative ending first? Do you remember when it occurred to you? But not like it's not the kind of thing where sometimes I've spoken with showrunners who say, I know at the beginning exactly how my show's going to end, or by season 3 or whatever. It sounds like when you were writing, you like to stay 6 scripts ahead of where you were in the action.
Yeah, but I think I had this notion. I was driving down Ocean Park Boulevard near the airport, and I saw a little restaurant. It was kind of like a shack that served breakfast. And for some reason, I thought, well, Tony should get it in a place like that. Why? I don't know. That was like 2 years before.
Wow.
It's interesting. Like why he says, he doesn't even know, but it's just like, for him, I imagine it just feels, for whatever reason, his intuition, or like, he just felt like, yeah, no, that's how it should go down.
It seems like he definitely did think that Tony should die either way, like, which is interesting. And I think it makes sense, like, for a mob boss to like die. Like, it's like, well, that's the life, like, that's kind of like what you sign up for, which is kind of what we've been talking about this whole show. Like that, all of these characters, they knew what they were signing up for. Carmela knew, Adriana knew, Christopher knew, all of these people knew what they were the life that they were signing up for, and the consequences they're in. And Tony was, I think, aware more than anyone, like what he had signed up for. John Burns, thank you for the 279. So, second greatest TV show ever was Quincy, Corner Gas. I love Corner Gas. I don't know about Quincy, but Corner Gas is a great show.
Never seen
I don't know if it's better than Sopranos, but it's a good show.
Speaking of that final scene, the Tony's booth from Sopranos finale sells for $82,600.
What? Where
Yeah.
would you? Who bought this?
So the New Jersey Ice, New Jersey Ice Cream Parlor, where the Sopranos abruptly cut to black in 2007, put the booth on eBay, hoping to fetch $10,000. It sold Monday evening for $82,600.
I wonder if EVS bought it.
You wonder. And this was okay. So this was 2024. I actually don't think that's a terrible investment.
I mean, it's part of cinema history.
Yeah, it's so, the last episode where Tony gets it. I mean, it's I could see that being a significant item.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You could probably double that in some amount of time, I imagine.
I feel like it's so weird because we've been talking about the show for 2 hours, and I feel like we could still go another 2 hours and keep talking about it. That's how good the show was.
Yeah.
It just kind of like, the more you think about it and the more you remember things, or like whatever, like things come up and you're like, oh, wow. And that, it just goes to show that it was such a great show, because the more you think about it, the more you're like, just like you remember all these different details, and that stuff is fascinating. This is the other video that I had that I was talking to you about before. I figured we kind of go through this and see some of the other secret stuff, if we have already talked about it, if we haven't.
The Sopranos is one of the most successful series HBO has made. The mob family's violent exploits remain exciting in syndication as well. It was the first cable TV show to win an Emmy for Outstanding Drama, and it was nominated every year after that and won again in 2007 for its final season. Keep watching to learn the secrets James Gandolfini.
That's crazy that it won so many awards.
Yeah. Wonder how many Emmys it won altogether. Let's see.
Just look it up.
Yeah.
Following in the tradition of people like Robert De Niro, Christian Bale, and Marlon Brando. He wanted to get into the mind of Tony Soprano, the surly mob boss. The crew of the show claims he would deliberately place a small stone in his shoe to make himself uncomfortable and frustrated.
That's crazy. That is frustrating.
That's an interesting technique.
Thank you, Darren, for $1.99. You didn't say anything. Thank you.
So
it also
Sopranos won 21 Primetime Emmy Awards out of 111 nominations.
Wow.
So, yeah, pretty good.
Now, wait, before we go on with this, Did you like the ending? Like, did you actually think like it was a good ending to Tony Soprano's story?
Yeah, no, I thought it was about as good as you could do it. I can't. The thing of it is like
People were pissed, man. Like, people
yeah,
were so mad about that ending.
people want. I think. I totally get this. I totally get this 100%. But and I might have too. I might have wanted a much more definitive ending if I had watched it in real time. But the older that I get, the more I want expectations to be subverted. I want to be surprised. I don't want, like, please do not give me just the generic textbook thing that's been done. So for David Chase to do something like just cut to black immediately, unexpectedly, there's what's called the Zeigarnik effect. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Zeigarnik effect is this idea that if you leave something open-ended, it's more likely to stick versus if there's closure. So the whole idea, and I won't go too much into depth with this, but the idea came from I believe it was like somebody was observing a waitress, this waitress, and she would forget about the orders that were finished and done. Everybody that customers were that were taken care of, she wouldn't remember their bills, but the ones that were still open, those of course would be the ones that still were like an open tab in her brain. And so like having something that is open-ended does leave more of a lasting effect. You want resolution, you want a finale, you want completion, but by doing that cutting to black, and now you kind of have to put together the pieces yourself.
Yeah, well, we like talking about it 30 years later, and we're still talking
Exactly.
about whether it was like the greatest ending of all time or one of the worst endings of all time. Because I mean, if you really think about it, you're right in a sense of like, okay, let's imagine they didn't end it like that. Let's imagine they ended with, you actually see Tony Soprano get shot, and then you see even the aftermath of how Carmela has to like plan the funeral and all the stuff, or whether who survives of the Soprano family at that table and where it goes from there. Because then you're like, okay, are we setting it up for another season to go on? Because this is don't forget, this was a series finale. Like they said, this over like after this. And back in the day, they didn't used to be like, oh, it's over. And then they're like, oh, never mind, we're going to do another prequel. Like
Yeah.
when something was over, it was over. So it's not something that's going to be like a setup to, let's see, like, who's going to become the new Tony Soprano? Like, is it Paulie? Is it this guy? Is it that guy? By the way, I was not like sad, but I was like, oh, Silvio, when he died, I was like, rest in peace, hair. Like, like same with Bobby when he got killed in the train plays. I was like, oh, bye, Bobby. Like you could tell because like every single person that was just getting killed, like
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, it's coming. I can tell it's coming. It's like
Yeah.
it just there's a wine, like like and all
Domino
these people are
effect almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, that. Like that's why when people are like, oh, did he get killed? And I was like, really? Like you didn't think he got killed? Like how
Yeah.
did you not think that? Like because I mean everybody else was dying, so like of
Yeah,
course he died.
it just makes sense. And I think, even without David Chase saying it, most people are like, yeah, I think he got it. But you still leave a little bit of that open if it's not. But what did you think about the ending? How did you feel about it? I think
Like
you
I
might
said,
have
I
said
was
something earlier.
shocked. I was a little shocked because I was like, wait, is this it? Like, is my computer acting up? Like, I was like, what the fuck? Because I'd never seen it. Like, it wasn't one of those things where I'd seen that there is people who've done that, like, because this is such a famous show, like they would have watched something like this. I had actually never seen anything from The Sopranos. I'm actually really proud of that because I was like, this show going in, I'm actually going to know nothing about. I didn't know any of the characters except for Tony Soprano. I didn't know any of the characters. So it was one of the like most, like it was just a very interesting ending. I was like, oh, okay, like because it didn't make sense, like in a sense of like when I was watching it. But when I like it was weird though, because when I saw that guy go in the bathroom, I was like, oh, is it happening? Is that guy? Like, but then they cut to what's her name? Meadow with a car. I was like, the hell is going on with Meadow in this car? Like,
Yeah,
it's
almost
so
like
weird.
it's almost like I don't think you'd call it a red herring, but it's like a distraction a little bit.
It is there. It
Yeah.
was a red herring because it's just like, okay, like what is she gonna walk in and then see her dad get shot? Is that what it is? Like, it's like, are they
Kind of
setting it
implied
up
there? Yeah,
right.
At least
That's
with
what it was.
you hear the bell, you hear the door opening, the camera goes to black, so she would have saw her dad get his head blown off.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that's horrifying because I actually did feel a little bit bad for Meadow of all people, because I think like these are the kids didn't choose the life that they were born into, like that was the thing, right? That Meadow and Anthony didn't choose the life that they were born into. They had these parents, and it's just that they were born into that life, and they actually chose differently for themselves. Like, I mean, Meadow wanted to, first she wanted to be a doctor, then she wanted to be a lawyer. And I think it was actually interesting that the reason she wanted to be a lawyer, she wanted to help underprivileged people and things like that. It was actually really interesting that his kids turned out kind of empathetic, like they were empathetic people. They weren't complete narcissistic, sociopathic kids, which tends to be the case for a lot of these dudes. Look at Christopher, for example, because Christopher had his dad be part of that mob and that he was in that world. But I think Tony took Christopher as kind of like damaged goods. Like, he was like, okay, Christopher is already damaged goods. His dad is dead. We're family, far removed, but still family. Because Christopher was like technically Carmela's nephew. Like he was related to Carmela somehow. It wasn't even like he was technically Tony's nephew. He was Carmela's cousin. So it was a very far removed family member from Tony specifically, because it was like, Carmela's relation.
Yeah.
But because he was damaged goods, and because Tony kind of had to take him under his wing at such a young age, he kind of basically made Christopher his actual son. That's why he wanted
kind of a surrogate son. Or...
Exactly. That's why he wanted Christopher to take on the mantle and everything. And he had kind of not given up on Anthony, but more like wanted a better life for Anthony.
Yeah, he did not want Anthony to...
He didn't want Anthony to become him. He was like, I don't want Anthony to become me. Like, he was saying that to even the therapist, I think, at some point, because, of the struggles he was having and of the fact that he had to even go to therapy. Because back then, going to therapy was kind of not taboo, but looked down on, right? Like, it was like, ooh, what are you, nuts? Like, what are you, a nutter? That you have to go to therapy?
Definitely more so, then than now, for sure. But can you imagine too, like AJ after seeing his dad get his brains blown out? Like, if he was suicidal before.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough. Because he also wanted to kill Uncle June after, like, he not that he wanted to kill Tony, but after he shot Tony, he was like, when are we gonna go get Uncle June? When are we gonna kill him? And he's like, we're not gonna kill him. Look, nobody's killing anybody. Calm the fuck down. And I was just like, I thought that was funny. That part was actually a funny conversation.
That was good. I don't know. I think that's the way it wasn't well received early on, but I think it's aged well.
Like you said. Yeah. I can tell you this. There's 8 endings I hate. Like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. See, that's an ending where it's like, had they showed you the aftermath of everything, to the funeral of Tony and who takes the seat or whatever. It was like Game of Thrones kind of, they actually gave you outcomes in terms of like what happened to people. Like Daenerys
But the outcomes didn't make any sense. That
got
was the thing.
killed. Well, that's the that was a big problem, right? That in itself was a problem. But it was such a boring way to end the show. You know, had it ended with an actual twist that felt more in line with what the show had been.
They
It
thought they
just would
were
have been
doing the twist, though. They were like, "Oh, the twist is she actually did turn into the Mad Queen, and she actually did burn everything fucking down, and Jon Snow did have to kill her, and that was supposed to be the twist. That this was like some type of Shakespearean love story where they were going to just kill each other in the end or whatever." But
Well, I think
the
like
whole
the actual ending, like if the ending ended on some form of a twist, where it's
like the last scene.
something like that, you know,
Mm.
where it's like you kind of instead it ended with Tyrion organizing the chairs at the table. Like the most
That whole episode was trash.
the most absolute boring way to end
But
one of
that's
the
the
most
thing. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like in The Sopranos, right? When you watch the last episode, from that conversation with Paulie to where they're sitting there and the cat comes up and he's the rat and like all this
Yeah.
stuff, to all of his men getting popped, whether it's Silvio, whether it's whatever. Christopher's already dead because Tony killed himself. So there wasn't that many people left. He didn't have too many friends. All of his friends were betraying him anyway. So it was like one of those things where you're like, okay, like this is the end of Tony Soprano. It's coming. If it's not now, it's coming, right?
Yeah.
And in Game of Thrones, they didn't set that up. That's the thing. They didn't set any of that up. And that's why it sucked, because in this they did. And I think part of the reason people really were mad at The Sopranos was that it was over just generally. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was like I think they just loved it too much. So they were like,
Yeah.
oh man, it's over. Now I'm mad. Like that is
I think that's
like-
I think that's a big part of it too. Of like plus it's tough. Like it's tough to end 6 seasons of a show, and especially when it's been that good.
Mhm.
How do you how do you necessarily put a cap on it and say it's done? A lot of shows have it's a struggle. Like Breaking
Because
Bad.
you didn't even have that though. You
Right.
didn't even have some type of like, okay, so who's gonna take up for Tony after this, right? Like Anthony's not gonna do it, Christopher's dead. Like, so
Yeah.
what is it gonna be? Paulie? Like, so you're gonna
Well-
show like Paulie be the mob boss?
Yeah,
now?
none of that would have been interesting because really
No.
the show was about Tony, like for the most part.
Mhm.
It was a character study about him. So nobody, like, it wasn't a matter of like we don't really care who takes the throne.
Mhm.
Like that
Exactly.
because it wasn't part of it.
Exactly. Galador makes a great point. People put years into watching it back when seasons had 20 plus episodes. This is true. Like we invested time into this shit,
Yeah, that
People
was
did.
like
I mean,
6
I didn't
seasons of
because
like it.
because I was like, fuck this. I'm going to live my life. That was then. This is
What-
now. Now I'm like, I don't have a life. I'll just sit here and watch The Sopranos.
Here's a question in chat. Feel free to give your thoughts on this, but like in terms of endings, what shows, Mad Men seem to be, I think, fairly
Mad Men had mixed. That was mixed
Did it
too.
have mixed too? Okay.
Yeah, people hated that ending. I didn't hate it. It wasn't
Yeah.
the best, but like it certainly wasn't. Like Mad Men was one of those shows I think that was like it kind of went like I'm being really like mean to it when I say went downhill, but it certainly didn't keep its same level of like goodness in the last level as in the first level. Like it gradually kind of was going a little bit less each season in my opinion.
Do you feel like it peaked in the middle though?
Yeah,
Or-
I do. I do.
I think
But
most
once you
people
really
would say
kind of
like
find out,
season 4. Yeah, like
Now,
is
mind you,
when
I've
the
only
show
seen
peaked.
Mad Men once, so it's been a long time since I've watched it. But I remember when you finally really find out John Hamm's story, like you find out his story, and like that, which is basically over at the end of I think season 1 arc, like the main season arc.
Yeah.
It kind of becomes a little bit less interesting. Like it becomes more about the advertising and less like about the mystery of John Hamm's character, because a part of the first season that was so fascinating was like, why is he so mysterious? Like that whole thing about like him being like
Yeah, who
that
is he really?
soldier and like that
Yeah.
that whole thing. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I
Oh
just
yeah,
watched
the
it earlier
flashback,
tonight.
and he winds up stealing the identity of
Identity,
John
like once
Draper's
you
dad.
figure out all that stuff, once that stuff is over, it becomes less interesting. Like in my opinion, the show just becomes a little bit less interesting because it goes fully into just him being an advertising mogul at that point, and less of it becomes a less character driven show in terms of like, because the mystery is dead. And that's kind of like what goes on with the Sopranos. Like once the mystery is dead, it's over. Like what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Now Mad Men was fun just because I mean Mad Men was in the 60s, so it was like, it still had room to grow and like to go over certain things that happened in history. It's always fun to like, do that, which Mad Men did.
Yeah.
And that's what kept it interesting. But once the actual arc of his story was over, I think it became less interesting, just generally speaking. Like it
Interesting.
wasn't the same. But having said that, I remember when people watched Mad Men, the finale, like people were pissed. They were like, "Oh,
Okay.
this show sucked. Like what the ending was terrible." Like that whole thing with
Really?
the Coca-Cola ad. Remember when he did the Coke
Yeah, I
ad
mean,
or whatever?
I guess I don't know. Like that's the thing where it's just tough to end a show. Like how do you
Yeah.
end it? And I think they I think it's a sufficient ending. It kind of just makes sense that Don Draper is going to go back to doing what he did best. And
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah.
agree with you. I didn't hate the ending. Like I thought, well, it's an ending. Like I certainly didn't think was like terrible or anything. But it was definitely one of those things. So what else are you gonna do? Like, okay, like yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
end. Like so everything is an ending, right? Well, some things.
Yeah, it's kind of like the thing too. Like, can you just appreciate was the journey so satisfying? And if the journey was like satisfying enough, and the ending, can you just accept the ending? Can you just like accept like, okay, this is where?
And I think
Because
that's where I'm at
how
with
else?
Sopranos.
Yeah,
I
like
think that's
how else
where
would
I'm
you
at
like
with
the
Sopranos.
Sopranos to end?
Yeah, I think like I'm at that place with the Sopranos, especially with what happened with Christopher. I messaged John after what happened with Christopher, and I was like, I just want this show to be fucking over
He
now.
was
Like
so
it's
mad.
so
Tina was
over.
so pissed.
I was mad, like
I'm
at
like-
what he did. I was like so fucking mad, and I was dying to talk to my husband about it because my husband has never seen The Sopranos, and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "You don't understand, and you will never understand until you watch the show." He was just like, "Okay, like
I
all
mean, it
right."
just kind of like the opportunity. Well, again, he wrecked his car. Christopher
He was like his dad.
Christopher was the one who was responsible for that accident too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He was driving, and
he's
it
driving.
was
And he's like, "I gotta change seats, Tony. They're gonna take my license."
yeah. So I don't know. I could see it from Tony's perspective of like, man,
Well, yeah, he's a mob boss. He was like, "I'm done with you, bro.
he
It's
just
over."
had it. He just had
But
it.
he was his son. That was like his son. It was like freaking, it was like killing your own kid, man. That was fucking wild. I was like,
But it's also a revelation of just who Tony is. Like
cruel.
Action is a revelation of character, and when
He was cruel. He was a cruel man. Like you could tell, like he could be very, very cruel. And sometimes he would do really cruel things to like, other people that he loved too. Like Carmela and like his kids, Anthony. He treated Anthony like shit half the time. He like had no idea why his kids were like behaving that way,
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, you're a fucking asshole. Like that's why they like hate being around you or certain things, like especially his daughter. Like that whole thing about him, like when he didn't approve of her or like who she was dating, and then he had her boyfriend killed. Not that she ever found that out.
Yeah.
Not that she ever found that out,
I mean,
but
he was not a good.
he
not a
wasn't
good
a good
master.
guy. He
Yeah.
was not a good guy.
He was. I
But
mean, he held up a bunch of mobsters. Him
yeah,
and
he
his friend
did.
or something. Like how? I mean, not really. Not too bright there.
Not husband material.
Yeah.
Let me get these super chats here. We got John Burns for 279 says, could have unalived him outside a Jersey steakhouse. It could have been done anywhere. What I did love about this show was the settings. I loved, like, that's one of the things I love about old shows now, John, is just like how much on scene places there are. Even that scene I brought up with like Paulie where they were sitting, that's a real place, which unfortunately apparently has shut down now. But this was a real place.
You would think that a place like that could even just survive based off of the show, like that you could kind of like turn it into like a, I don't know, like a.
It wasn't a
Sopranos.
deli though. I think it was something else, and then they turned it into a deli for the show. But it was like, I think it was I forget what it was, but there was it was something else. I'm sure the chat will know. But either way, they couldn't survive, which is interesting. Like you said, I would have like turned this into like
Sopranos memorabilia place or something.
Yeah, something.
I imagine some of these places in Jersey, they shot on location. So, or because this is in Jersey, right? Or
all of this was in Jersey, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like I would think these like locations for fans of the show, some people would actually go and.
Yeah, like I mean, they had those tours for Seinfeld. It's like, this is where we filmed this, and you have those things, but you would have really thought that they would do that for the Sopranos, and they didn't. But that's one of the things I loved about the show is that there was so many scenes like on scene, and you're like, oh, they don't do that. Everything is freaking green screen now, which drives me nuts.
A lot of it is, yeah.
Darren Vereni, thank you for $1.99, says Pine Barrens was the ultimate episode, had it all. Which one was that? I don't know what
that was. The one clip. That was that clip that I showed about the where Christopher and Paulie get lost in the woods.
Yeah, that one was
tracking
one of my favorite episodes because Christopher and Paulie were one of my two favorite episodes, like characters. And that was like their episode. And I was like, are they gonna die? Please don't die. Like, because I was like, I didn't want them to die, actually. I was like, please live till the last season at least. John Burns, thank you for the 279. Compare it to the Game of Thrones ending. Better. We just did. Certainly better.
Yeah. And I'd say
miles.
I think Breaking Bad is an ending where everybody was like kind of universally on board with it.
Yeah.
Like everybody, I don't remember hearing too many complaints about the ending of Breaking Bad.
No, I don't remember that either.
Yeah. But even with that said, I still think I kind of like the Sopranos ending. I think I might like it more. Just because it's like I don't know, he took a big swing and I just think it works.
Is there any other series where you're like, I really like the ending of this series? Like that was top notch.
I think
same with you, chat. Let us know what ending of a series you love.
How about well, I'll let you go first.
There isn't a lot because I usually like, I love to have an ending, but there isn't a lot of good endings, I think. But one of the actually really good endings, which is also kind of sad, was, in my opinion, Deep Space Nine. I love the ending of Deep Space Nine, and Babylon 5 had some of the best endings, which they're emotional and they're like very, they're hard endings, but they're really great endings. So I would say Babylon 5 and DS9.
Okay.
What about you?
I think recently the Penguin had a pretty good. I think it sucked the landing in terms of.
But do you think that's an ending though? That's a season ending. We're talking series ending because they're supposed to have more.
I don't know. Well, if they do a season 2, okay, yeah, that's fine. But I feel like if that's all there is, if all we get is season 1, I do think like that was just a great.
That was a good ending.
Yeah, way to cap it with Oz doing what he did, and I'm not gonna say anything for people that haven't seen it, but what other show?
I agree because the last scene of the penguin was like masterful. Like it was like, ooh, that was good. That's a nice scene to end it on for sure.
Yeah. And I felt like that show for the most part was pretty flawless. Like it wasn't. I didn't think there was like a bad episode in there. Like I thoroughly enjoyed watching that entire show. I think The Office, even though season 9 was a pretty bad season, I think the finale of comparatively to the seasons before. But I feel like the season finale of The Office was pretty satisfying.
I hated The Office.
Really?
Like that whole fucking thing, like including the ending. I was like, what a fucking cop out. He came for the ending, like Michael Scott, came for the ending like what, like 5 seconds? Like I was like,
he came for Dwight's wedding.
Yeah, but he wasn't even in the episode. It was like barely like less than 5 minutes. He was just like, oh, I'm here.
At least he made it.
Come on, John. That was a terrible ending, and you know it.
I think it's okay. I think it could have been a lot worse. I mean, that's kind of the other way.
They should have had Dwight and what's her name's wedding way earlier, and they should have ended the series with Michael Scott leaving.
It would have been, I agree. It would have been better, but I think there were certain things where certain parts about that episode, like Pam's painting of the office, Andy talking about how, I wish somebody would have told me that, the good old days. His whole
I gotta tell you, I think I've only watched the ending once. Because I always stop every time I rewatch it now. I just stop when Michael Scott leaves. I don't even keep moving after that.
Oh, okay. I thought
I've tried like a bunch of times.
Again, I don't think it's a great. I don't think it's a great. I mean, it's like I don't think it's a great ending, but it's a satisfying enough ending for me.
I would have to go. I'm telling you this because I'm saying I would have to go watch it again to tell you whether that's true or not. Because it's been so long since I've watched The Office ending, even though I've seen the Office a million times.
I just feel like the last time I saw it, when I did watch it, because I've probably seen it a couple times, but there's problems with like season 9 was just. Was nowhere near on par with the seasons 1 through 7. And season 8 was, not as bad as season 9, but
you know what? You know what's so crazy? We're talking about all these shows that like have endings and whether they do or don't, but most of these shows have ended. You know what hasn't ended that's like really needs to end? I mean, it needed to end so long ago, is The Simpsons. Like I often think about like, are they ever gonna end that show? And if they are, how would you even end like The Simpsons at this point? I mean, it's so far beyond like what it was. Like, it's not even the same show anymore.
Yeah.
So I always think like, I wonder how that would go in terms of The Simpsons ending. The Seinfeld ending was so dumb, said Scott Perry. You know what? I was actually one of the rare people who actually loved the Seinfeld ending, and I think it's still a really good ending. I don't know why people hated it so much. I think it was.
It
was a Sopranos thing. Like people just hated the fact that the show was over.
Yeah,
and they were just mad at it.
Well,
but I loved it. I thought it was a great ending.
They went to jail. They went to jail for a year, right? That was the ending.
Yeah. And then like they revived it. For the Curb Your Enthusiasm season 8 or whatever, which was great. That was a good show. Did you hear that Larry David's making a new show and it's being produced by the Obamas?
What?
I was like, what? And then all the stuff came out about Obama like after I heard that. I was like, oh shit, Larry, what are you doing? But I that was one of the rare shows that like I disagreed with people. I was like, no, I like the Seinfeld ending. It was all right.
I think it's aged. I think that ending's aged better. But yeah, a lot of people were pissed. Like a lot of people did not like it. I mean,
I
I don't
remember
think
that.
I liked it a whole lot either. But it was a way for them to bring back all the notable characters from previous seasons. It was it was a kind of a clever idea. Did it really work? I mean, I don't know. I guess it's up to everybody, but I think I think people are a little bit more welcoming of that finale.
Speaking
That
of
was like it was the last.
Curb ended, and Curb was great. I thought the ending for Curb was fantastic.
Remind me of how that ending.
There was a scene of like he had like all the people come into the theater, and it was like all the people that were there. Like there was like all of them were there. Like Jerry was there even. Everybody that was part of the show was basically there
Okay.
in the last ending.
Was it
And
a movie or
they
something?
fixed the Seinfeld ending.
Okay. Man, oh man, I've just watched so much. Maybe I've watched too much TV.
I know, I feel a little bit like that too, but they kind of fixed the Seinfeld ending.
Okay.
Because they knew like everybody hated it. So they were like, hey, we get another shot to do it again. And they did for the Curb ending. And then I thought it was a great ending for Curb as well. So go rewatch that
I'll
and
have
then
to
you'll
watch
see
it,
what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
John Burns for 279 says compared to okay, we got that one. Thank you, John. John Burns for 279 says Tony stays in his life. He won't change who he is. He definitely would never change. I think even though he tried weird through his therapy, he did try.
But the thing of it is with his therapy, like he was never ever going to leave that life.
No. But
So
he
it's
knew he
like,
was the leader. He knew he was the leader.
yeah,
Like, I'm never gonna like the only thing that's gonna take him out is death, basically. He knew that.
yeah. So the way I saw it is like, yeah, a lot like the solution to so many of your problems are tied to your life in the mob. If you leave your life in the mob, you're going to have less stress, you're going to have less problems, you're going to have you'll probably have a different set of problems, but yeah, killing people is not good for your mental health. And,
No.
like doing bad things to people because then they want to do bad things to you. It's just like
It's a vicious cycle that like never ends until you
yeah,
die.
it's kind of like people that just want to it's like they just want to talk about their problems, but they don't really want solutions. And that's kind of how I felt going back to the idea of it becomes like Tony's therapy is kind of redundant. It's just because he's not, at the end of the day, like John says, he isn't really willing to change.
Correct.
So if he's not willing to change,
that's why he kept like struggling with Melfi too. He kept ending his therapy and then he's being like, well, like, what are we even doing here, doc? Like, he's like, I know I have a problem. I have a problem. I'm not going to change. What the fuck are we doing? It was like a waste of time at this point. And it kind of was because it's like, what is he really doing? She did help him to a point because she helped him figure out his issues about his mother. And she helped him figure out his issues about his father and the fact that, learning to deal with those traumas that he experienced caused him to not have those panic attacks anymore, or at least as much, because he did have a couple here and there. But but knowing what he knew, he understood that there was a trigger, and that's why he was having the panic attack. Whereas at first, it was all so freaky to him that he was like, the fuck is happening to me? Like, I feel like I'm gonna die, but this doesn't make any sense. And this can't be psychological because it was like such a he had such a weird I thought there was a taboo on it at the time where like psychological, get out of here, like like that kind of thing. Because usually you would think like anyone who is going to therapy or whatever is just a crazy person, even though technically they're all crazy because they're killing people. But I don't know. It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's like he wanted the root, or he didn't want to get to the. Well, he found out, what like his mom and his like all those things were, a lot of that stuff was rooted in his childhood. But it's kind of like I think you just wanted some superficial quick fixes versus like actually really wanting to do the work and to, again, actually change. And that was going to. for him to healthily change, it would require him to leave the mob. You know, you just can't be a healthy individual and stay in that lifestyle. Like, you can't psychologically healthy. You can't. So it's like, what? Yeah. Anyhow, that's kind of where it's like, I don't know. In a way, it's like the solution was kind of simple, but obviously not so much.
Not so simple.
Yeah.
Darren, thank you for the $4.99. Says, I thought the ending was perfect when I first saw it. A lot of my friends and family thought I was crazy for thinking that at the time. Well, there you go. You were ahead of the time.
Ahead of the curve, man.
Yeah. John Burns, thank you for the 279. Nina still smarting from Dark Matter's sad ending. Oh my God. I hate things that don't have an ending. Like, that's my worst thing. It's like, at least if I can get a shitty ending, I'm like, well, at least I had an ending. But I hate not having an ending.
What do you think? Dark? Or is he talking about Dark or?
No, he's talking about Dark Matter, Joe
Oh.
Malazzi's show,
Oh,
which
it
got
didn't end.
canceled.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't have an ending. John Burns for 279 says Lost never wrote that with an ending in mind on Carrie. Yes, that was actually a terrible ending. Lost was an awful ending. And yes, they went season by season, not knowing what they were doing. So that was that was a mess. Lost was a mess. I've heard they're
What I hear.
rebooting it.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Darren, thank you for the. Did you watch Lost?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh my God! Don't waste your life.
Wow.
Darren, thank you for the $1.99. Says, wonder how South Park will end. Yeah, I mean the same thing as The Simpsons. I mean, it's been going on for so long.
Did you see the Trump episode?
No, I want to though. Did you see it?
Somebody posted the full thing on X. I kind of skimmed through it.
I heard they're doing another Trump episode.
Oh, okay.
They're going hard on Trump this season, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of South Park, and I just partly don't, I just see it as it's kind of just like obviously popcorn entertainment, but there's not a lot of, there's just not a lot of significance to the show, I feel like.
I watched, because I stopped watching South Park years ago. I used to be a huge fan. And then it just fell off for me. But I think it's just because I just grew up and I just changed, as a person. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against South Park, just generally speaking. I was just like, oh, I don't really want to see a bunch of cartoon characters swear half the time. And then, have Kenny get killed and be like, they killed Kenny, you bastard. So I've seen here and there episodes. I watched their COVID special, and I watched their Game of Thrones special, and ones that have, significant cultural stuff, but I haven't really watched any other one. I don't know any of the new characters, so if I start watching it now, I'd be totally lost. But I do want to watch the Trump one just because I feel like Trump needs to be made fun of a little bit. Let's see. That's going to be a weird ending, though, I feel like. Darren says, Dark on Netflix ending kind of bugged me. Dude, that whole season 3 bugged me. What about you, John? I mean, we talked about it.
Yeah. That's kind of like where the journey... Season 3 just felt like it packed in a lot, where it was moving fast, and there was just so much... the whole
I just didn't like where I didn't like where they took it,
Yeah.
But what's weird is having said that, after all the shit that we've seen, I kind of have a little bit of a respect for, first of all, the fact that they have an ending, and second of all, that they tried something. It did bug me, and the whole season bugged me, the last season, and the ending kind of bugged me too. But I feel like they went for it with that show. And that was one of those things where I can appreciate that. As a creator now, I feel like it's hard, man. Everything has either been done or I don't know. You just have to be really creative to come out with something. And they went for it. And I thought that was really cool. I'm actually kind of sad that their other show got canceled because they did another one. It was called 1988 or something like that. That was also on Netflix, and I watched the first season, and it was good. Like, it was a good first season, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm in." And then they canceled it, and I was like, "Oh, that sucks," because I guess it didn't get viewed that many times. But that's how it goes. So I'm just glad Dark got an ending at least.
Yeah.
DL, thank you for being a member for 46 months. That's insane. Says Nina, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. I'm doing much better than last week. I appreciate you. John Burns for 279 says the idea of Severance makes no sense. Mindless TV. I actually love Severance. Like, love it. So
yeah. Did you watch season? Nina, did you watch season
mindless.
1 only, or you?
I've watched both now.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Okay, yeah. After Sopranos was over, I went straight into Severance.
I mean, Severance makes sense in its own, like, in its own world, in its own way. Like, the rules are established there. It's, it's weird. It's strange for sure, but like, it's, but the idea is very original, and I think it. I
like
think
it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a play on the whole idea of like, how we what's the word I'm looking? We fragment ourselves in some ways. Like we there's the
compartmentalize.
Yeah, exactly. There's the work version of you. Then there's the person who you are when you're around your friends or your family, and it's like, so it took that. At least that's what I think happened. Whereas like it kind of took this idea. Okay, let's take it to an extreme of like, where
it's trippy show too. Like, I think the concept is trippy in itself, and I think it's got a lot. I actually think it's pretty deep because it talks about certain things where, like, is it morally right to do certain things, or is it, and whenever you put moral stuff in a TV show or make people think more than like the sum of themselves, I think that's not mindless TV, because the point of mindless TV, like, at least John Burns, I think, like, when you say that, the vocabulary for me is different. Like, we might have different definitions of it, because for me, mindless TV is like reality TV, where it's like you're really not gaining anything if you're watching the Kardashians or reality TV or whatever. But when you watch something like Severance, like, it's making you think. It's like existentially, it's making you think, like, spiritually, it's making you think in all sorts of ways. It's firing the neurons in there. So I don't think I would call it mindless TV. That's my personal opinion. And
that's just my opinion on it too. But
John Burns for 279 says Joe Pesci could have played Columbo in a movie.
I could actually. It's funny you say that, but I could actually kind of see Joe Pesci doing a detective role.
Hey, I said I'm solving the mystery, okay? I was like, I don't know if that was my.
That's like, that's
good
like
Joe Pesci.
Kind of. It's kind of like the character Joe Pesci does play a lot, but he's got some range though. He's well known for like Goodfellas and Casino, but he definitely has some range to him for sure.
You know what I heard? That I heard the other day, they're remaking, or not remaking, they're making a prequel to Heat.
What?
Yeah, they're trying to get funding for it or something, and they're trying to get Leonardo DiCaprio to sign on, and I'm like, why would you even make
original stuff? I don't know. Like, it's, man, trying to revive some of these franchises, like, nobody ever thinks to themselves like, man, Heat, that's a movie we need a sequel. Like, Heat's just it's a good crime thriller in itself, but nobody thinks about like, man, that is a movie that needed another movie.
We need a prequel. We need to figure out how these guys ended up like here. It's like, no, you don't. Like, you don't need a prequel for fucking Heat.
No.
Speaking of revivals, though, I did watch the King of the Hill reboot, or whatever you want to call it. And it was great. I really liked it. I'm going to make a video of that. I just didn't have time today, but I'm going to make a video on that. DL for $1.99 says, I don't like how they did Mindhunter on Netflix. I agree that, but see, that was one of those shows where it didn't get an ending. Like, it needs an ending, and they didn't get it one. the 2 seasons ended well for what they were, but it's not wrapping up the entire series. And I agree. They kind of did Mindhunter dirty on that one. Have you seen the show?
I have not. No, I haven't seen it.
It's good. Like, especially the first season, it kind of starts talking about like the reason. It's kind of loosely based on a true story of how they started to like kind of like look into what's the word? Like the FBI started to like interview like psychopaths in prison to make profiles about psychopaths, like, you know, and how so that they can catch like what's it called? Mass murderers or whatever. So they were
serial
doing like
killers or
serial killer. So they were doing like serial killer profiles basically.
Okay.
And like it was a fascinating show. It just they didn't end it well because they didn't end it. I don't even know if it got canceled. It just kind of like fell off. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like look into that. Like,
Sure,
because everybody was kind of waiting for them to be like, oh, season 3's coming out, and then like they were like, nah, we're not actually doing it. So that's weird. But John, it's been 3 hours we've been going, so I think we're gonna stop here. And I want to thank you for being my partner in crime and like
of course,
hanging out and talking about Sopranos. It's fun. It was fun to talk about it. We're going to be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk more about real life events and maybe more, maybe not real life events too. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about our dreams. Yeah. Maybe talk about our entertainment. I'll definitely talk more about my experience with my near-death experience. But yes, everyone, I definitely agree with $1 here. I think everyone should watch The Sopranos at least once in their life. If you don't even, if you don't like it or whatever, like that's fine. But I think it is one of those shows, just like there's like certain movies you have to watch at least once in your life. I think as far as TV shows go, The Sopranos is one of the shows that should be watched at least once in your life. Would you agree, John?
Yeah, I think it's kind of marked the beginning of what we know as like the great TV, just like that. There wasn't really a whole lot of shows that I think Sopranos is always associated with that, of like the kind of like the what's the word I'm looking for, but like the era of like quality television shows where it's like it feels like it's the writing and it's almost movie like quality, and it's only gotten you just saw the rise of shows after that, and you didn't.
I think the other one for me would be The Wire. Like I think everyone should watch The Wire at least one time in their life. Prestige TV, that's right.
There it is. Yep.
We've forgotten what Prestige TV was like. John Burns for 279 says, check out Departure from 2023. Is that a TV show?
Must be. Yeah. I mean, I think we've still got some decent stuff. We got House of the Dragon, which
I haven't watched season 2.
You didn't? Oh, okay. But yeah, it seems like it doesn't have the following or the excitement behind it as Game of Thrones did at one point when that was out. But trying to think of some other show. I mean, I think Severance is one of those shows where
I really like Severance, but I'm nervous about Severance because Severance is one of those things where, first of all, did you see how much they cost to make that show? It's like Apple's most expensive show of all time. It costs like $200 and something million per episode. It's insane, man.
No, I don't believe it costs that much per episode. There is no there is no way it costs $200 million per episode. That's a movie.
Let's see what it was at Severance season 2 cost. They said it was Apple TV's most insane. 20 million per episode.
Okay.
I added a 0 on that.
Yeah,
20 million per episode. I mean, come on, dude. 20 million an episode on a fucking show about an office space. Like, it's a bunch of hallways turned white. Like, it's
Mandalorian, I think it was like 15 million. But I'm wondering.
Mandalorian has like CGI and shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
like you're not in an office for like the entire show. That's like
Well, some of those sets are
white.
Yeah, some of those sets are pretty expansive.
That makes no sense.
For
That makes no
Severance
sense
or
for me. Yeah, for Severance. Like
some of those-
it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
it does.
so
It does
it
seem
makes
like
me
quite a bit.
nervous. It makes me nervous that
No, Apple's gonna see that show through. I don't,
you think
they don't,
so?
They don't care about. Man, Apple's got money.
I hope so. I really do, because it makes me nervous that they might not finish the show. That's
Well,
the
that
only thing
that
that,
show
like,
got me. I think that was a show that actually got me to do Apple Plus through Amazon Prime.
okay.
It's just easier that way for me. So it's like it's all
There's
connected.
another good one, John, that I'm actually gonna start watching it soon. I kind of started watching it the other night, and then like something happened and I had to stop. But I was like really interested. I watched halfway through the first episode, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm so in." But it's Shrinking with Harrison Ford.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of that or not,
What's
but
it
that
about?
is it's about a bunch of shrinks, like men like shrinks, and
Okay.
it's with the guy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I think I know who you're talking about because I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen the thumbnail for the show.
Yeah, so like he's like basically a psychologist, and he has issues, like his mental issues.
Okay.
And of course he's like advising other people on their issues. Kind of like Dr. Melfi, how like Dr. Melfi had issues, and then she was like freaking trying to
She was seeing it there,
psychoanalyze
yeah.
Tony Soprano, and she had her own fucking problems.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. And Harrison Ford is also like plays another shrink in The Office. So they're like kind of like coworkers.
Okay.
And it's interesting so far. So I want to, yeah, Jason Segel. That's right.
Okay.
Thank you, Hardy Harmonica. I'm so bad with names.
John Burns says, and thank you for the 279. Says, watch Owen Wilson on Stick on Apple TV.
Cool.
I haven't started that show yet, but I have to check that
I
out.
haven't has seen an Owen Wilson thing for a long time.
Oh wow.
Wow. I think the last thing I saw him on was actually Loki, like season 1.
Wow.
How is this Stick show? What is this?
It's about golf, I think, or he's a golfer, I imagine.
Oh, that sounds kind of boring. I watched the new Happy Gilmore. That was not great.
Nostalgia bait.
Yeah, it was, and I'm a huge fan of Adam Sandler. I was like,
Bummer.
no, it didn't stick the landing for me. Unlike King of the Hill, I was like very happy with King of the
Did you
Hill.
see Punch Drunk Love ever?
Yes, I hated that movie.
Really?
I hate when Adam Sandler tries to do like emotional stuff. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with this. I hated Punch Drunk Love. I hated his what was that? Oh my god, I hate that. Yes. Uncut Gems is one of the worst movies I think I've ever watched.
Oh,
Like I wish I could get my time back. Like it was
stop.
so
What?
so bad.
I mean, I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever, but it wasn't bad.
It was awful, John. I was like,
what? What are you talking?
no.
Adam Sandler he's good in both of those movies.
I hate that movie so much. Like, I'm telling you, I just like Adam Sandler to be Adam Sandler. Like I want him to be a clown that I can laugh at. And he tries to do emo shit, and I'm like, it just doesn't work for me. Can you just please going back? Like when I was watching Uncut Gems, I wanted to sing that song. Would somebody kill me, please? I'm on my knees, pretty please. I want to die. That's right. That was me. And that's old school Adam Sandler. You can take it to the fucking back. That's how I felt about Uncut
I
Gems.
disagree. I
can't believe you liked that movie. That was so bad.
What, Uncut Gems?
Yeah.
I mean, Punch Drunk Love is. I mean, it's one of P.T. Anderson's. I don't know. I think it's one of his
Punch Drunk Love wasn't as
underrated
bad
films.
as Uncut Gems, but It was still bad.
I just I think you're wrong. What? Oh well, that was guy was trying to sound like the price is wrong.
Oh, just put a bullet in my. Oh my god, people are like, please clip that. Was it really that bad? I just, I felt like channeling that guy.
I should have did this. I was thinking about. I was like, do I have a curtain like John Lovitz, like where I go off? I just roll off camera like. She's losing her mind.
That was me when I was watching Uncut Gems.
And I'm reaping all the benefits.
I like Baby Daddy. That could get emotional. I don't know what Baby Daddy is. Is that an Adam Sandler movie?
And you just want to keep Adam Sandler in a box.
But no, Adam Sandler, though, like in Happy Gilmore 2, one of the reasons I didn't like it was because he went too emo again. Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Are you going to?
Oh, yeah, I'll watch it at some point.
Okay, then I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Comparatively to Happy Gilmore, how many stars would you rate Happy Gilmore out of
the first one?
Yeah.
Out of what? Out of 5?
We'll go 5, yeah.
I love Happy Gilmore. So, like, I mean, it's hard for me to give Happy Gilmore 5 stars because,
you know, for what it is, like for a comedy, for a stupid comedy, you know,
I loved
if
it.
You want, if you want to give it 5,
I'm going 5. I'm going 5. Fuck it.
No, I think every scene in Happy Gilmore, it's Happy Gilmore never gets boring. It's fun. It's funny. It definitely has its moments. So I don't blame you for that. Okay, what do you rate Happy Gilmore 2?
2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, it's a bummer.
Yeah. but then again, you and I apparently don't agree on Adam Sandler films. So you may watch it and be like, you know what, Nina was so wrong on this. I can't believe I even listened to her.
Well, I mean, I just happen to think probably Uncut Gems, and those are probably his best dramatic performances for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they were just awful though. God, that movie was so bad.
I don't understand how you think like Uncut Gems was. Again, you maybe don't like it, but I wouldn't say it's bad.
It wasn't good either. So if it's not good, then it's definitely bad. Like, it certainly wasn't good.
I mean, it could be middle of the road, but I wouldn't say it's a bad movie.
Oh my God. I literally felt like I was like, you know, losing my mind when I was watching it. I was like, is this real? Dina's a harsh critic tonight. When it comes to Adam Sandler emo movies, it's just not like he has yet proved me right that he can do emotional movies and actually be good at it. It's awful.
What?
You know what? Actually, I take that back. There was one movie he did that was an emotional movie that I was like, you know what? This wasn't bad. Like, it was an okay movie.
Well, Punch Drunk Love, like he actually plays a character. Like same with Uncut Gems.
I've forgotten that movie. It's been like so long.
Plays it's like you don't feel like it's just Adam Sandler.
There was a movie he did about 9/11. I know this is really fucked, but he did a movie about 9/11. I'm trying to find this movie's name. It was with War Machine. You know the black dude?
Don Cheadle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that movie was actually really good. Like it was really sad. It's called Rain Over Me.
Okay.
And it was really sad, but it was a good movie. Like it was a good movie. And I think that is Adam Sandler's best serious performance. If we're gonna go, okay, like, you know, he's gonna whatever, but it's not Adam Sandler to me. Like I watch it and I'm like, oh, God, I just want him to make me laugh. I don't want to watch him make me cry. I hate when Adam Sandler makes me cry. Like it's just one of those things. But he was very good in the movie, and the movie was good. Like it was a good movie, even though it was about 9/11. Like it's very fucking depressing.
Yeah, I probably won't watch that then.
No, it's extremely depressing. I mean, I don't recommend you watch it, but I'm telling you, there has been a time where I was like, okay, that was actually well performed. Like he did a well performance. Mind you, like I thought the same thing for Uncut Gems. Like I was like, his performance was fine for what it was. I just hated the movie. Like I was like this movie about this dude that's like, looking for this uncut gem and the whole adventure he went on. Like it was so fucking retarded, that movie.
Man,
I just
I'm just surprised at the level of hatred that Nina has for this movie. Like, I get it if you didn't like the movie, but it's like, this movie really pissed you off? Like it really
made me
was
angry.
like what is that? Like, what's the real? Why are you really mad at this movie, Nina? What did this
I
movie
don't know.
really do to you?
I'm trying to figure it out. Now that
like-
you've like brought this up, I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to like do some deep reflection.
It just I don't know. Like it's not like a very. Is it a polarizing movie? I don't know. Maybe some people are.
It is a polarizing movie because I've gone into arguments with people who have loved it, and I'm like, I fucking hate this movie.
Well, are
And
you
they're
the
like,
only person that does not like hates the movie? No, let's see.
I
I'm
don't
gonna say-
know. I don't think so.
Uncut Gems, Rotten Tomatoes, real quick, and we'll wrap.
Yeah, let's see it. How
I'm
about
just
you,
curious.
chat? Do you guys like Uncut Gems? If anyone's seen it, let us know in the chat if you
Okay.
enjoyed it.
So it is polarizing, though. You're right. People, it's pretty much split down the line. 52.
Okay, share the screen. Let's see.
I'm
it.
sure. All right. So critics, 91%.
Oh God, critics 91%. That tells you everything you need to know. This movie's fucking trash.
It's not that simple. There's still 52% of the audience that did like it. Thought it was good. So
Galadron says never heard of it. Well, now you have. You should not watch it. And usually I'm one of those people that's like, watch the movie and decide for yourself. But I'm telling you.
somebody says, love this movie. Very nerve-wracking. Great story and different movie for Adam Sandler. These are the people's reviews. Uncut Gems really had potential to be a masterpiece, but something about it just feels off. At times it's too loud and frantic for the sake of being loud and frantic. Feels like some editing could make it complete.
It was like that.
Interesting.
Half the audience.
Pointlessly stressful content. It sort of has a purpose, but not really.
It has zero purpose.
I mean, I don't know, like what movies, I mean, does every movie have to have this, I don't know. People say like this movie doesn't have a purpose. Okay, well,
look at DL's comment.
Like if
I've not heard a good thing about Uncut Gems until now with John.
Okay. Well, here's the thing that I do think people say it doesn't have a purpose, but sometimes you actually have to, it's not like not every movie's going to spell out what the purpose is. But I think with Uncut Gems, it does kind of put you in the mind of somebody who is they're a compulsive gambler.
Insane person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't like it. Cause it was like, okay, now what? like I was just like, all right.
Well, it's kind of that, there is the open question of like, will he be able to pull this off or not? So there is that, that keeps you watching at least. But yeah, I mean, teach their own. I mean, I'm not saying the movie's a masterpiece by any stretch, but I thought it was.
So you thought it was mid. You thought it was mid.
I'd
what do you give it out of 10? What do you give it out of 10?
I'd probably give it maybe a 7.
Wow, you went with a 7. Oh man.
I mean,
that's high.
7's not, outstanding.
Whew, that's high, man. That's
But-
way higher than I would have expected.
It felt fresh. It felt new. It felt, something I hadn't quite seen before. So
Interesting. We'll talk about more of this tomorrow.
Okay.
John Burns for $2.79 says, I like this mystery movie Sandler did with Aniston. Oh yeah, that was fun. That was a fun movie. Like Mystery on a Train or whatever it was called. I think they did 2 of them. It's on Netflix. That was a good movie. That's the kind of movie I like from Adam Sandler.
yeah,
Like funny,
he's already been there, done that. I don't want to see Adam Sandler keep doing.
Welcome to
Adam Sandler
Happy
movies.
Gilmore 2, because that's what that is, but worse because it's.
I'm at a point where I want to see Adam Sandler just branch out and do whatever, do something different. Like prove that
he's already done a musical in animated form. Would you like to see him more in a musical?
No, now I want him to do something different. I actually do think that Adam Sandler's not a bad actor. It's just I'm curious to see how far he can go, what else he could do. But people like Nina,
I actually love Adam Sandler. I do.
They've
really
typecasted Adam Sandler into just being
make me laugh, clown.
Yeah, pretty much. Just a court jester.
Thank you, John Burns for 279. Like the mist. Oh, yeah, we got that one. Thank you. Okay, John. Thank you again for this really great review. Out of 10, what do you give Sopranos?
Oh, it's up there. What, 9.5? I mean, maybe I don't know. You gotta say, what do you say? 10?
Yeah, I think
at least 9. At least 9 out of 10.
As close as it's gonna get to 10 as possible. Like, I don't think I've ever given it anything 10 out of 10 because nothing is perfect. I just feel like there's no such thing as perfection.
Yeah.
So, but it like whatever is closest to 10, I guess 10, 9.8, whatever.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe a 9.5, 9.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would say
I'm willing to say 10. It's just like if you set the bar at 10, what if something better comes along?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to say 10 because there was, like I said, there was times where I was like, okay, this is dragging on for too long and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So like, because you feel like that, it's not perfect. So I would say like at least like 9.5, but I'm going to give it as close to 10 as possible. So 9.5.
Yeah. That'd be an A.
Yeah, it's good.
That's an A. So that's a pretty.
Yeah, it's good. It was a good movie. That series. It was a good series. Great series. But you haven't watched The Wire, right?
Not yet. No.
You got to watch that, man.
Yeah.
I would love to hear you watch that and then tell me what you thought of it versus The Sopranos, because that is also extremely grounded. I think you will enjoy it, John, because it's a very intellectual show.
Okay.
Having said that, thank you everybody for joining us tonight on this review of Sopranos and apparently Uncut Gems, because that was a thing. Thank you so much for all of you who super chatted, became a member, gifted memberships, all that good stuff. John and I will be back tomorrow for Infinite Talk, where we will continue our talk and our discussion about Uncut Gems and how much it sucked. And of course,
how great Uncut Gems was. You know what? Now I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling really.
You know what? You should go watch Happy Gilmore tonight so we can watch.
Then I'll really be praising Uncut Gems.
No, I'm saying.
No, but like this is Adam Sandler's career film.
I hated Happy Gilmore too. So if you go watch that, maybe we can talk about that tomorrow.
Maybe I'll get Netflix again. We'll see.
Oh yeah, shit. You don't have to.
Well, I subscribed again, and then I just a few months ago I unsubscribed. I was just trying to cut back on streaming just because how many streaming services do you need? But
okay. Well, yeah, I think because they pulled Cuties now, right? Like it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm free. I'm free to go on Netflix.
Okay, good. Yeah.
The boycott is over. Thank God.
Yeah. So either download it or watch it or whatever, so we can talk about it tomorrow.
All right.
See if we can at least agree on how Happy Gilmore 2 is at least mid. Like it's not. I mean, I don't say I would hate it like as much as Uncut Gems, but it's certainly not. I have to talk to you about it when it's finished.
Okay.
I mean, when you watched it.
Okay.
So
maybe I'll
check
it out
tomorrow. Thank you guys again for watching, and we'll be back again. So we'll see you guys next time, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.